Hello there, welcome back to the random show episode number, what is it? 54. 54 of the random show. Hope you are well, wherever this is finding you. It's a bit of a random one as per usual. I just loaded up the flipping stream late at night because I'm a bit bored and I wanted to stream and keep the fucking streak going and not be resting on my laurels. So here I am streaming randomly on a Monday morning for most of you guys heading into the week. Why not? Sober October anyway, so I'm not going to do anything else apart from being up. So why not stream and talk to you lovely people out there? You feel me? Yeah. So hopefully you're well wherever you are finding this and it's found you nice and calm in that. I'm hydrating myself with a nice bottle of Evian, so hopefully you guys are hydrating yourself with enough something nice too. I just checked there because I thought it was leaking, but it was actually the bottle shaking and dripping all over me. But big up everybody in the chat. Big up Eric C as per usual with the flipping Man City love. You know I love you, but I hate your fucking club. But welcome here anyway. Welcome here. Big up Brown. Big up Mice. Big up Nick. Everyone tuning in. I do appreciate you. As per usual with this, it's going to be a bit of a random one. You know what I do. You know how the deal is. Going to be talking about some random news topics and then we're going to dive into all the comedy stuff and we're going to just keep it going. But I wanted to do this anyway as well to kind of catch up on the last one because I felt the last one I was mad tired. I was just, I'd been up for like many hours working out, running around, doing my thing. And I probably didn't bring the best level of content or entertainment I feel like in a previous stream. So to make up for it, we're going to do this one. And hopefully this is a bit more fun, a bit more expressive, a bit more entertaining for you people, right? I'm enunciating my words. Hopefully you can hear me nice and clearly like that as well. And I've also upped and boosted the mic a bit, so hopefully it should be a little bit louder for you people in the comments who are always bloody complaining. Hopefully it's louder. Hopefully. If not, then it is what it is. But what can you do? So, number one thing I wanted to touch upon that's been really getting at me and something I've not really been able to figure out, right? I know the rules and the laws in the US are a little bit different to how we do things here in the UK and stuff, and I'm a little bit ignorant and uneducated about everything else, including politics and law in general. That's not really something that's really in my wheelhouse, but I'm still a little bit intrigued and really fascinated by this whole Alec Baldwin thing that's been happening, right? As most of you are aware, Alec Baldwin, the famous actor, was involved in a really unfortunate incident on a movie set he was doing, no, on a TV series set he was doing, sorry, and I think it was set in like in the eras of the Cowboys and the Indians, and whatever this movie was, it involved him having to use a prop gun. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, he wasn't given the right instructions about whether or not the gun was hot or loaded or not. He ended up kind of making around with it and kind of playing out a set or playing out a scene in the series. As he's playing around with the gun goes off. It shoots one of the people involved with the series in the shoulder, which then passes through, if I'm not mistaken, his body and then hits the lady down here in the chest, unfortunately, and she dies instantly on the scene, right? Really tragic, right? And her name is Khalyla Hutchins, right? Really tragic. And by all accounts, she was like a real staple within the TV series land community thing. Loads of people came out and basically had really good things to say about her, about how professional she was, how much of a pleasure she was to deal with, and it kind of hit people really deep. But for the most part, since this happened, this man, Alec Baldwin, hasn't seen the inside of a jail cell. Not even like just to hold him for like questioning or nothing, zero. So he inadvertently killed somebody. We know it's inadvertently because he obviously didn't intend to do it. Well, I'm sure no one can prove he intended to do it. But for that, he still hasn't seen the inside of a jail. Nothing. It's as if he I don't know, was involved in a minor car crash or something. That's what it's basically been treated as. And I'm really surprised by it. I guess this is obviously the update in it, in that his family, or the family of Alec Baldwin, or no, the family of, no, or they both mutually came to a settlement, I guess. And I'm not sure who basically sued who in the civil suit. But they've come to a settlement in terms of the civil suit. But in terms of criminal charges, still nothing has basically stuck on Alec Baldwin. And he hasn't seen the inside of a jail cell or prison. What's the deal with that? How can you just get away with shooting somebody, even if it was by mistake? You shot someone by mistake and you just get away with it in a weird way. Is it just a money thing because he's famous and he's rich, well connected? Or is it one of those weird loopholes because he's an actor and because there's a prop gun and because he essentially was the one who's the last on the command, like in terms of responsibility, right? There's many people beforehand that have to kind of check the guns and make sure they're not hot or make sure they're not being able to be fired, whatever. Loads of stuff has to happen before, checks and balances, before it ends up in this actor's hand. So essentially he can remove all sense of responsibility from himself by saying, hey, if they would have done their job correctly, no one would have died anyway. I think so, but I don't know, it still perplexes me. It really does perplex me, just from a really naive, out of touch, uneducated UK guy who has no idea about your laws over there in America. I'm just intrigued, like, how he's been able to get away with it, quote unquote. But anyway, this is an article about the settlement. It says as follows: Alec Baldwin has reached a settlement with the family of the cinematographer Khalyla Hutchins after she was killed on a film set when he fired a prop gun. Sorry. Filming of Rust will continue, which is the real crucial part here, right? And it's a real kind of sad, cold, hard reality of the entertainment industry. When they say the show must go on, they actually mean the show must go on. The filming of Rust will continue in January with Miss Hutchins' widower Matthew on board as a movie executive producer, which I guess just a nice little touch to kind of, you know, honor her and whatnot. All parties believe Miss Hutchins' death was an accident. Her husband said, "Oh my God, of course they do." A lawsuit filed against Mr. Baldwin, producers and others as alleged violations of the industry standards. The exact term of the settlements, which is subject to court approval, has not been disclosed. So they got given the bag, right? The family got a bag, and can you blame the family though for this unfortunate, you know, out of the blue passing of a family member? If they were just a regular, you know, humble family and this tragic thing happened, and then they're being given a sum of money that's not going to ever bring back their daughter, ever bring back their sister, their flipping niece, their cut, whatever. It's not going to bring her back, right? But at least this will go some way to kind of heal and to kind of mend any damage that's been done, or just pay for expenses, because you never know. She might have been the main breadwinner of that entire household, right? Of her side of the family. You never know. So these things can have some really long lasting ramifications. So if you're able to get some money from this, and especially in this case, you know, Alec Baldwin's going to be inclined to pay it and just get it out of the way because he doesn't want this to be lingering over his head. It kind of maybe suits all parties, but it's just, I can't help but feel gross about it. You know what I mean? I just can't help it. It continues. In a statement, Mr. Hutchins said that all the original principal players would be involved when filming resumes, which he said would be a way to pay tribute to his late wife's final work. They're going to continue filming this shitty TV series called Rust that no one's going to watch, or they're probably going to watch just because of what's happened tragically. In order to honor somebody that was just working on it to pay the bills. It wasn't like she was doing this as like a life's calling to work on flipping Rust. It was just another one in a long line of jobs that she does just to kind of keep the wheel turning and whatnot. Crazy. And it continues: I have no interest in engaging in recriminations or attributions of blame. He said, all of us believe Khalyla's death was a terrible accident. Wow, he's being very certain about that, isn't it? It's almost like, you know, those black people in America always piss me off. We have a few of them in the UK too. Whenever their child dies and they're like, oh yeah, I forgive the killer, God will have me to forgive them, and they always kind of fall over themselves to rush to forgive. It's like, no, why are you rushing to forgive somebody that fucking stabbed your kid through the heart with a fucking 12-inch blade? Do you know what I mean? Like, at least in the flipping in the embers of it happening, still have some level of rage in you that you want to enact some sort of revenge or something. Maybe later you can forgive, but straight away they kind of rush to forgiveness. Is just annoying. And we know it's not true either, because we know when no one's watching and the cameras are not on, they're still going to be in, you know, incredible levels of pain and grief over what happened. But yeah, it's just like a white version of it. It continues. Mr. Baldwin posted his reaction in a statement on Instagram. Of course he did. Of course, Mr. Baldwin, who's being fucking, who's at the center of this, right? Who essentially was the one responsible for that lady's death, or partly, posted his reaction on Instagram. Of course he did. Did he put a filter on it as well? Did he add emojis? Like, he says, we are pleased to announce today that the settlement of civil case filed on behalf of the family of the cinematographer Khalyla Hutchins. Throughout this difficult process, everyone has maintained a specific desire to do what's best for Khalyla's son. We are grateful to everyone who contributed to the resolution of this tragic and painful situation. So I guess in this case, Alec Baldwin might be lucky because the family don't seem like they're vindictive or that they're trying to get revenge on him in any kind of way. They look like they just want to have some level of compensation paid to obviously help the son and the family and then keep it moving. But I guess if it was somebody that was really being vengeful, then this would have been a real issue for him. But because they're not, it's not going to be an issue. They're just going to sweep under the rug. To be famous, to be fucking rich and famous, you can legitimately accidentally murder somebody and not see a day in prison. I'm not saying prison, maybe just jail, just to kind of hold you, to question you later. Nah, nothing. Just going about your business. Rust director Joe Souza, who was injured in the shooting on the Bonanza Creek Ranch next to Santa Fe in New Mexico, said in a statement on Wednesday that he would now devote himself to now everyone's turned into an honor of the God, with these people, man. Though certainly bittersweet, I'm pleased that together we were now complete, of course. Although someone died, we're just going to continue filming anyway, no problem. The incident occurred in October last year when Borden was practicing drawing a prop gun. The film producers were fined, and Shogley was criticized by authorities for failing to follow safety guidelines. The makers of Rush showed a plain indifference to recognize hazard associated with firearms on set, according to the New Mexico Environment Department, which is called the NMED. Agency issued a maximum of $105 fine to Rush Movie Productions. That's the maximum they can get fined. Is that because it's a fucking what's it called? Is that because it's a union thing? They can only get fined £100,000. God almighty. The producers of the film later disputed the official report, saying the company had enforced all applicable safety protocols. The police released footage of the set, including the aftermath of the shooting, almost a year after the tragedy. The criminal investigation still hasn't been concluded. I guess it's because of COVID, right? It's because he's rich and famous, or because of COVID, I'd imagine, right? Okay, saying they think Russ. Okay, Jess is saying, big up Jess in the chat there. Saying I think Russ is a movie. I wanted to see it because of Travis Flemnell from Vikings was in it. Oh, okay, nice. I don't know who exactly Travis is, but I did watch Vikings. I'm always really crap with actors' names and stuff. I always watch stuff and just watch it for the story. I never remember who the actors' names are. Even the characters they play sometimes. It's always a bit twitchy with me with that, which is why when I see TV series subreddits and stuff and they're talking about the actors and their names, it's always really impressive they can recall them straight away. I don't know their names at all. But yeah, I watched Vikings. That was very entertaining. No, just I didn't watch the interrogation, so it's online here. It's pretty funny because he treats the performance as mixed with frustration. Okay, cool. I'll definitely check that out. The fucking interrogation, of course, you'd use that opportunity to fucking perform in it. It's Alex fucking Baldwin, mate. What do you think this is? It's no game. Everything's a performance. Everything is a chance to show off that he could have also been the guy on fucking Breaking Bad or something. Like, oh, God almighty. But yeah, R.I.P., man. R.I.P. to Khalyla Hutchins. Really, what a tragic situation. I only remember this happening because it happened during like the pandemic times, I think. So yeah, R.I.P. her. What a tragic way to go out, and hopefully this compensation or this resolution settlement can go some way to heal the pain in that family. But I'm sure it won't really, in it, because you still want that person back. That's all that really matters. But yeah, what can you do in it? What can you do? Moving on from that one quickly, I wanted to touch upon this and knowing your value, the strength of knowing your value, because I saw this article, or I saw this clip also, and I couldn't understand why Schultz was so like surprised that he would turn this down. So this is an article courtesy of Business Insider, and it features this. It says as headline, Mr. Beast said he turned down $1 billion deal for his YouTube channel and associated companies. And I think most of you have seen it. If you haven't, please do check it out. I've said it before on here before. Yeah, Jesus Christ, I said it twice there. I've said it on here before that I'm a big fan of Schultz's podcast, more so than his actual stand-up. I think his podcast is super entertaining. If you can get past the excessive laughing and the hand slapping and all this kind of cringe stuff, which is just more so a character trait of them as a group of friends. You know how your group of friends you hang around with, you have your thing that you do, right? Like, I don't know, a way that you guys laugh, a way that you guys ask each other, you know, indirect questions, whatever. There's a thing that friends do, right? So I think that's their thing. They're kind of laughing and trying to make each other laugh, trying to make each other cry over flipping bang and stuff, whatever. If you can get past all that, the podcast is really good, and they ask really good questions. They dig in deep, they get serious, they get funny, they get dumb. It's cool. I really like it. I'm not going to lie. And this interview they did with Mr. Beast is nearly like 4 hours long. It's really one of the best they've done. It helps because he's a YouTuber, so he knows how to perform, he knows how to give answers. He's obviously been in the media for a long time, but overall, I really do enjoy it. And again, YouTube is full of wankers, right? It's full of knobs. Like, I don't know what happens, and I say this with knowledge that soon, if I keep doing what I'm doing, that, you know, you never know what happened in the future. I could be one of those people who have like 1 million something followers, and I could also be somebody that somebody's making documentaries about. Oh, Agostinho was cool and now he's turned into a dickhead. I know that could happen to me, I know, but there is something about these YouTube waters. Once you start doing this often and maybe you start getting some money and some sponsors, I don't know what happens, but people just turn into cunts. I'm not sure what it is about this platform, but they always go from being a pretty decent, well-liked, you know, content creator to somehow then turning into an absolute animal. And for Mr. Beast to continue to be the guy that he is now, even though it feels like every other month or every 6 months, it feels like there's this new concerted effort on, especially on Twitter, to cancel him. I'm not sure what the reason is. People on Twitter don't really seem to like him a lot. I don't know why that is exactly. I'd love someone to ask him that question, actually. Why do you think Twitter doesn't like him? And it doesn't always go anywhere because, you know, he generally is a nice dude. He has no skeletons in his closet. He hasn't touched up kids. He's not someone that's overly aggressive sexually and stuff. He just seems to be a pretty decent dude that likes to make cool videos, give away money, and help out his friends, blah, blah, blah. So all good. But when I saw this headline, I saw the clip, I legitimately thought this wasn't even funny or that surprising. To offer somebody like Mr. Beast $1 billion for his YouTube channel and associated companies is, I think, is the greatest lowball of all time. Has to be one of the greatest lowballs of all time to pay only 1 billion. And the fact that he turned it down was obviously a good decision in the long run. But I think I heard something along the lines of, who told me this? I forgot where I heard it, or maybe I read it. Something along the lines of like the stuff that does restaurants, just the burger stuff that he does alone already makes him, I don't know, somewhere between like 50 to 100 million or something stupid. Just the burgers. So to make that amount of money on just selling burgers that everyone's been basically saying online aren't that amazing, right? The burgers are basically quite basic, but you're mostly buying it to be, you know, a supporter of what Mr. Beast does. And you'll feel like a super fan, but it's not like, you know, mind-blowing burgers and he's importing a beef from fucking, you know, Japan or whatnot. It's just a regular burger presented in a different sort of way, different condiments, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But it does a job. And that's already making millions. To have that one thing make millions and then sell your YouTube channel and your other companies for 1 billion is not the great decision. And that also goes to prove that sometimes in general, people in general, we just tend to undervalue ourselves. And it's only until somebody else comes in and basically makes you value what you have, right, that it makes you think, oh, maybe I got something here, because people are seeing it differently. Because for sure, that venture capital whoever offered him $1 billion was like, as soon as they buy his channel and his YouTube companies for $1 billion, they could flip them and remake their money back in a couple of days. Sometimes maybe in the same day if they were smart. They could effectively do it. So it was definitely a good decision for him to not do it, because I think that would have been the worst decision he's ever done in his career to date. So this is courtesy of the Business Insider. It says YouTube Mr. Beast, whose real name is Jimmy Donaldson, said he received an offer of $1 billion to take over his content empire, including his main channel, which has over 100 million subscribers, but he turned it down. That's what I need to make as well. Just imagine what his main channel makes. Imagine what his main channel makes. Imagine what his main channel makes. So imagine taking that and just throwing it away for $1 billion. No way. During an appearance with the Flagrant episode on September 27th, host Andrew Schultz said he was shocked that Donaldson hadn't been offered the craziest check in history. He says, I have been offered a pretty crazy one. There's been people like, or not so term sheet, sorry, but people who would want to be able to afford it, $1 billion if they could own the channel and the companies and stuff. The 24-year-old said, oh my God, Mr. Beast is 24 years old. I didn't know he was that young. He looks quite old for his age, doesn't he? Or am I being biased because I want him to be older? He's 24 years old. Holy shit. He's balling out of control. The 24-year-old said he couldn't give any further details on who or where the offer came from, but it was a legitimate offer. Flagrant's co-host asked Donaldson whether he had a price in mind for his channel, and if he were to sell, he said, it's so crazy I don't even want to say it because that's where I want to be. He says, if we have a mobile game company and we get to 100 million people, say, he says, and 20,000 physical Beast burgers and festivals in 20,000 stores, it would probably be like 10 to 20 billion, which I still think is a lowball. Listening what he said already, right? If we get to 100 million people playing his mobile game, if we get to 1,000 physical Beast burger stores, festivals to 20,000 places, that'll be, no, it's worth more than that. It's worth more than 20 to 10 to 20 billion, 100%. Definitely, I would say more so in the $100 billion sort of mark if you're going to take the whole empire, because you have to imagine too, people underestimate he's a YouTuber, so he has an actual active, incentivized, engaged audience that like what he does. He's not having to try and make, and he's not having to go there and acquire new or new audiences or new users or whatever it may be. It's people who are already part of the community, who like the Mr. Beast brand, love everything that he does, like him as a person, his friends associated with it, his worldview, blah 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 blah. You saw the smile on the face. I remember when he did the burger thing during the pandemic, you could see this genuine smile and delight in people's faces when they went to go to support the burger thing, not knowing that he was going to get them free food and free money, but they're just generally there, just happy to support the dudes are good. Sorry, they saw it as like a, that's like a personal friend of theirs. So that whole community thing, because you can think about it, I've worked in startups before, and people sell the data, and people sometimes sell user bases, right? Like of people from different companies, like they sell that stuff. Like that stuff is really, really crucial. So sometimes people will buy, I think you've seen it with other apps before, they will sometimes buy an app, not because they like the idea, but because they want the community of that particular app, because they think they can sell other things to that community. And I think that's the case with Philippine Mr. Beast. Like 10 to 20 billion is not enough. I don't think so. Maybe for one arm of what he does, if someone offered him 10 billion or 20 billion for his YouTube channel alone, considering all the changes YouTube does, their terms and conditions and whatnot, it's probably makes sound decision to maybe take that offer, because you never know, your YouTube may go under or may not be as successful as it is in a few years if they change the algorithm or something. But 10 to 20 billion, no way, man. He needs more, way more. I'd definitely go more so in $100 billion mark if it was me. It said in July, Insider reported that Donaldson planned to hire a programmer to create a mobile strategy game for iOS and Android. Donaldson's one of the most popular, highest paid creators on YouTube, and is known for stunts like turning a backyard into a ball pit and giving away $1 million, but only giving people 1 minute to spend it. He's given away everything from an island to luxury cars to millions in cash, but his rise to fame has not been without controversy. Last year, a group of former employees told New York that Donaldson created a hostile work environment and that his demeanor changed when the cameras weren't around. Yeah, but what do you expect? Do you honestly expect somebody that has this amount of fans just standing around looking at him to be somewhat kind and cool at workplace? I don't know. Like, I always think to myself, whenever I apply for a job somewhere where they've got an incredibly large user base, look, even the security guard is taking pictures. Look there, you see that guy? There's a security guard there in the back taking pictures of the dude. So clearly he's a big deal. I've always been under the clear idea that if I applied for a role in a really big company, or a company that had, a really big user base, that most likely than not, either the customers are going to be pricks and cunts and annoying, or the owners were going to be. It's just part of the working with somebody that operates on that kind of level. It just is what it is. If you want to work with somebody who's nice, go work at a fucking fruit stand in your local market, innit? You don't think a YouTuber that's commanding that sort of money is going to be a nice guy that gives you pats on the back and brings you a fucking muffin on your birthday. That isn't going to happen. So people who complain about that sort of stuff, just, if anything, they just expose that maybe they weren't right for that space, which is fine as well. It's not a bad thing. But yeah, big up Mr. Beast. Big up Mr. Beast for turning it down. Smart decision you've ever made, mate. What we're saying in the chat. They're saying here, take a look at the whole H3 dude. He used to talk a way more different. Dudes are fake. Yeah, true. H3 I'm familiar with a little bit. I had to give up for a while because I find him incredibly, he's like kind of like Wings of Redemption. He kind of brings my mood down. He's super negative. Is a bit, I don't know. He's not for me personally. And he's a flipping turbo dork as well. So I'm not a really big fan of those kind of dudes. We were saying here, people hate Ethan. Yep. Just for this thing, I watched his video on personal channel where he talked about it. I try not to hold people's mistakes against them. Yeah, true. Like H3. Yeah, H3 is what H3 isn't at this point. To be honest, you know what I think will happen with H3? To be honest, I think, and I don't think if he's actually spoken about himself, but I think in general, he just got bored and tired or maybe lazy of doing those original videos that everyone fell in love with him for, right? Those kind of cultural commentary type video things with skits in between and different costume changes and story. Like, it was really creative and really fun. I just think he got bored of doing that. It just got a bit, because even I know I don't do much. I sometimes clip videos on iMovie and add little things here and there, or take out little bits I don't want, or add, flipping fade in white screens and fade out black screens, like tiny stuff. Sometimes I'll add text in it to be a bit jazzy. But even I know in that kind of small level, editing is so long. So it's long, it's tedious, it's annoying, and it's only for certain people to do. And the only thing is, other things annoying, sorry, I got to mention, when you start making content, you start doing it by yourself always, and usually you start editing by yourself as well, because you don't have any money to hire anybody, or you want a way to, whatever it may be. But the issue is, once you start getting more money, start making things, you start to realize that other editors don't work the same as you. You want to start doing everything by yourself. So it's hard to let go of the control. And then the control will eat you alive. And then here you are, 7 hours in, heading up to 7 a.m. and you're still, trying to edit this 1 minute worth of flipping footage. So it's flipping horrendous that way. Once you get into it, it's really hard to not notice things and be a bit of a perfectionist and whatnot. So, I have sympathy for him in that regard. So I think he just thought, you know what, fuck this, let's make a studio. And his studio looks pretty sweet as well. It's all well lit, it's all well done, everything it may be, and just talk about stuff, like just do the podcast thing, which is way easier than making videos. So I definitely understand where he was coming from back. I definitely understand OG fans who are like, no, we like this version of you, this other version is annoying. And if anything, he's probably been in more controversies, H3, I think, post H3 channel, right, the original one. Like, since he's been doing the podcast, he's had more controversies because it's a podcast, right? And he's got a guest. He's sitting there for 3 hours talking about shit. You're bound to, for the sake of entertainment, say something you're not meant to say. So that was clear what was going to happen. But yeah, what can you do, man? H3 is going to be all right, though, isn't it? H3 is going to be all right. People saying, yeah, I'm saying I can get why the fans aren't fans. Exactly. But the good thing is that there's so much good content out there. So there's so much free content out there that, so much free and good content out there that it's not real that big of a loss. It's a loss, of course, if you're an OG fan, but you can always find someone else to kind of fill that void. I mean, you don't have to just suffer in silence with no one trying to entertain you. There's always going to be somebody out there willing to get on the stage, entertain you, put on a good show, put some good tunes on, whatever. But anyway, let's move on. So this other clip I thought was hilarious. It's this clip I found on Reddit, which is heckler throws beer can at comedian. I haven't watched the whole thing, but I assume it's pretty self-explanatory. Someone in the crowd throws a beer can at a comedian, and the thing I find funny about this, just of the text alone, is that it happened to some random comedian, and for some reason these sort of things don't tend to happen to these people that we kind of laugh at here together, or that I laugh at here on the random show. It seems to always happen to like really kind of like unknown, just trying to work it out type comedians, and I think it's really unfair, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? They're just trying to work it out. They have no idea what's happening, why someone would throw something at them. They're just trying to work it out. So for them to be at the butt of this stuff is a bit unfair and a bit cruel, but also goes to show the harsh truth of trying to make it in whatever that industry is. Do you know what I mean? It's really, really difficult. But anyway, this is a clip. Let's see it.
What's your question? Did you vote for Donald Trump? Did I vote for Donald Trump?
Hold on, let me put the sound up a little bit.
What do you think? No. Okay. Here's a question for you. Why would you ask me that in here, knowing I'm the only Jew in this room? Are you trying to get me killed? If it makes you feel any better, I vote in New York. My vote doesn't matter there. It doesn't matter here either. It doesn't matter, guys. Everybody vote for whoever you want to vote. I don't care who you voted for. I'm just happy we're all here together.
So you voted for Biden.
I don't know. Why does it matter? Yeah, so what? Why does it matter?
I can just tell by your jokes you voted for Biden.
Why are we talking about politics? I can tell by the fact that you're still talking when nobody wants you to that you voted for Trump.
Boom, roasted. That was a pretty good joke.
Alright, make some noise if you want her to shut up.
Yo, aerial comedy, you're fucking brilliant.
But I did ask if anybody had any questions. I didn't think it was going to be. That's on me. That was on me for thinking I could have a human interaction with somebody. That's my fault. No, look, I'm such an insecure person. Here, I'll tell you the rest of that bit, and then we'll move on. I'm so insecure. I went and got an IUD. Oh.
Holy shit! That caught me off guard too. Did you see that? Did you see the fucking glass? Holy shit! That was like semi-full as well, maybe halfway full. Let's go back that one again.
Here, I went and got an IUD.
One more time.
I went and got an IUD. I'm so insecure. I went and got an IUD.
No, actually, it wasn't. I don't think that was a. That wasn't a glass of beer. That was. It looks like a Pabst Blue Ribbon. I don't know why I know this. Maybe that's good. That kind of exposes me. That looks like a Pabst Blue Ribbon, fucking tin, or some sort of tin of beer. That doesn't look like a thing. It doesn't even the sound of it. It sounded like a beer. It sounded like a tin, right, hitting a back of a wall or something. Let's do that again. One more time.
And then we'll move on. I'm so insecure. I went and got an IUD.
Come on, buddy. Can't do that. Are you fucking kidding me? Yo, I'm never coming out with these people ever again.
Oh no, Ariel's a fucking G. Ariel's a G. She just swigged the drink. Didn't say a word, just swigged it. Absolute G. Honestly, that was crazy. That was fucking crazy. Where did she perform to get that sort of hostile reaction? That wasn't even that racy of a joke. Who did you vote for? Why does that command such fucking vitriol? Where's Uncle Vinny's? Oh no, Uncle Vinny's is the one in New York, isn't it? Is Uncle Vinny's? Yeah, Uncle Vinny's, is that New York? Or is that New Jersey? I think it's New Jersey, right? I think that's the one Joey Diaz talks about that he goes to perform at. You think Uncle Vinny's? Holy shit, brother! She flanged at her, sorry, isn't it? Crazy. But I just find, like I said, I just find it interesting how you never get these things happening to like the LA types. I wonder if this is a consequence of them only performing to their own crowds. Because clearly Ariel was an up-and-coming comic playing to just a random crowd and getting some minutes up there, you know, polishing up her set and whatnot, wherever it may be, doing the actual real fucking what comedians are meant to be doing, right? And she's obviously hasn't built up an audience to that extent where they're going to be at a sold-out show just there to see her. So you're having to play for randoms who are just there to see comedy, eat some fucking chicken fingers and keep it moving. So it's already, you're kind of already in enemy territory. So maybe that's why those guys in LA don't get it, because they only play to their home crowd. She's actually playing to fucking legit strangers who clearly don't like the cut of her jib because she thinks they think she's Jewish. They probably think she's a fucking lesbian. They probably think she has fucking a million abortions. I don't know, whatever these fucking ridiculous political things people think. But God almighty, she dodged that beer can like an absolute G and drunk at the end like an absolute G as well. So big up her, man. What a fucking legend. And she reacted to it pretty well, to be fair. Nothing too crazy. Didn't throw a hissy fit. Just politely just looked at them with shock face. Did that bitch really just do that? Picked up the tin, swigged it, kept it moving. Gotta love it, man. Gotta fucking love it. Moving on from that one, wanting to talk about this. Have you guys seen this? I just wanted to quickly mention because I thought this was interesting, because again, like I said, police stuff has always intrigued me about it when it comes to America. It happens a lot here in the UK too, but I think this is a more poignant one to talk about because the victim in this is obviously a white dude, and I thought this was kind of goes back to my point that I've been making before about the missed opportunity with the whole George Floyd thing. Say what you want about the whole George Floyd thing. There's many inconsistencies in that story. He wasn't really the flipping sweet angel everybody was kind of painting him out to be. He clearly had his issues. Some people would say the force that was enacted on him to kind of get him to restrain was maybe adequate. If you watch the actual full video, you will see that he was tweaking from minute one before he actually was taken out of the car and all that sort of malarkey. So it's not like a cut and dry situation. It's not as easy as they kind of paint it out to be, right? But when it happened in the States, the one thing that I kind of thought was going to happen was that it was going to kind of kickstart a change, just because it would at least start a conversation about the real inadequacy of police in general, right? Not that police brutality only happens to black people, but in general that police are generally shit at what they do. Maybe it's because of the fucking job, maybe it's because of how hard it is, maybe it's because of what else? Maybe because of how hard it is, maybe because of the job, maybe because of how much it pays, whatever. There's a reason, for some reason, around the world, there's so many videos of cops just being terrible at their jobs. And I thought that one instance of George Floyd would just get people to have an open debate about it and be able to speak about it clearly, because we all suffer from it. Every community, every race of people suffer at the hands of horrible police officers, because usually the consequences of police officers doing their job poorly are quite severe. But obviously that didn't happen. The fucking whole thing got weaponized, got politicized, and it got turned into an us v them thing. You know, it just got messy really quickly, and then the whole point of it was lost. BLM got involved, the riots, people looting, all this sort of nonsense. It just went crazy. So the whole point was gone, and now, you know, there was all that whole nonsense about what are people saying about like getting rid of police and stuff. Police, like, just nonsense stuff, right? That obviously does not make any sense. So we lost that debate completely. But you still see these videos pop up from time to time that just show you how fucking garbage police are at their jobs. And I am at a loss for words at why this is. Why are they so bad at their jobs? Is it because they don't get paid enough? Is it because in general, to be a police officer, you have to be somebody from a particular socioeconomic level? That might mean that you might not be the smartest or the brightest to start with. Is it because usually the job puts stresses on people that brings out different sides of people that you would never know unless you do the job? What is it about that job that means that most of these cops that we're seeing in these things just happen to be so fucking dumb and so fucking redacted? Like, what is it? Please, someone tell me. This video is a good example of it. Just look what happens in this fucking clip.
That was pretty stupid, wasn't it?
What's up?
Flashing your lights at everybody to let them know that law enforcement was sitting there running radar.
Is that what I did? Is that a crime?
Yeah.
It is? I didn't know that.
You got your license registration proof? Why would you do that? You're flashing your high beams at people to...
In the daytime?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a crime.
It is legal to have flashing lights on your vehicle, not being an emergency vehicle. Huh?
I said, I'll see.
Okay. And I could take you to jail today for your unsigned registration card, but I just wrote you a citation for that. That's actually up to 6 months in jail. You think it's funny, sir?
I'll take the ticket, sir.
I know, but do you think this is funny?
I'm allowed to laugh. I could laugh all I want.
Go ahead and step back here, sir.
I didn't do anything.
Sir, I'm asking you to step out the...
Am I being detained?
Yes, sir, you are. Step out of the vehicle.
Are you serious?
Place your hands behind your back for
Are
me.
you serious?
Yes, sir. Place your hands behind your back for me.
Oh, man, you're serious, brother.
I'm not your brother.
Believe me, you're not.
Yeah, I'll never be your brother. I'll never be your brother.
Exactly. You'll never be my
I'll never be your brother.
Exactly. You'll never be my brother. Just be careful.
I don't want to be your brother.
No. Just be careful.
Don't jerk away from me.
Just be careful.
Don't jerk away from me, sir.
Just be careful.
Don't jerk away from me.
My wallet is in the car.
Okay, I don't want you to jerk away from me
I was
right
going
there.
away from the traffic.
No, I was putting you in front of my car,
Okay.
which is away from traffic.
You're arresting me for laughing.
No,
I didn't do anything.
I'm arresting you for unsigned registration.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
Okay, so stand right there. Do you have any weapons in the vehicle? Okay. Hang tight in front of my vehicle. Hang tight right here in front of my vehicle for me. I guess I'll see you in court. All right, ticket still stands there. Special restrictions on lamps. Unsigned registration card. I gave you till the 23rd of this month to contact the magistrate. Phone number's on your copy there. Once you contact them, they can tell you how to take care of it. Okay. All righty, sir. Be safe.
Imagine how flipping redacted you have to be to do that to somebody. Okay, the guy was being a little bit of a cunt, maybe a little bit obstinate, maybe a little bit smarmy, alright, because he clearly knew his law and stuff and he knew his rights, blah 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 blah. But like the guy said, you're allowed to laugh. Like, you don't live in fucking North Korea. You can have a little chuckle if you think that what the guy's talking about is absolute nonsense. You're allowed to laugh, you're allowed to flip and roll your eyes, you're allowed to do whatever you want. Do you know what I mean? Like, but this officer saw it as some sort of affront and got legitimately irate. It probably helped the guy was quite calm after he got arrested and didn't really make the situation worse, whatever it may be. But that whole song and dance, what was that all about? And that's what I said, like, that's a clear example of police just being terrible at their jobs. Now, if that was a black guy and he was maybe a bit bigger or maybe looked a bit aggressive and he answered back a bit, that could have ended up to be quite fatal. And we know this, right? It's not even a race card thing. We know this to be true. So I just don't know what it is about that job, man. That job, and it happens here in the UK too. We have so many instances of it. What is it about that fucking job that makes people so terrible? Like, so bad at what they do? And maybe it's different. Maybe I'm asking the wrong question. Maybe it's not actually a job. Maybe that's the thing about police work. Maybe because it's so stressful and it's so like, obviously the margin for error is so thin, right? Maybe it's not even a job. It's different because you're on like 10 every single day. You can never let your guard down because you never know. Some kid could literally blow your face off, like how they did to fucking what's his face? To what's his name? To the guy in fucking The Wire, you know, the guy that goes with whistle, the gay guy with a shotgun. What's his name? And he died, unfortunately, with a scar on his face. In The Wire, that kind of famous scene, he's a boogeyman of everybody, right? He kind of robs all the dealers and stuff and jacks them all up, and he ends up getting shot in the face in a fucking in a bodega by some kid. Just ends up pulling a gun on him. That can happen to any police officer at any time. And your main mission of police officer is to kind of get back home to your family. So it's not really a job. Do you know what I mean? It's not really a job. It's more than that. Oh, is it Omar? Yeah, I think it's Omar. Yeah. The little kid just blows his face off. So it's not even that. So that's the probably difference of police work. It's not actually a job. It's the fact that it's more than that. The pressure's more. So maybe because of it, it brings out something in people that no one can understand unless you do the job. Maybe that's the thing, but I just can't with how redacted they are. And I think in general, it would have helped if the ones that were bad at it just got punished. Just punish the ones that are terrible at it, so that everybody can see that the ones that are bad get let go and the ones that are good get stay. When they do all that thin blue line nonsense, it kind of makes it hard to kind of be on their side, innit? Because the thin blue line means you kind of just make excuses for people being awful at what they do, or sometimes bad intentioned. But you know, what do I know, man? I'm just some donut from across the pond talking out my absolute arse about things that don't concern me in the slightest. Next, moving on, just a quick one to kind of get you back into some level of sobriety when it comes to dealing with your own everyday stuff that's happening in your own life. And I think that does this to me, even though the consequences of this are fucking horrible, what people are going for. You guys seen all this stuff happening in Iran? Iranian woman brutally murdered by ethics police, Masha Amani. It's been happening for the last few days. I feel like maybe more than a week of these instances of women in Iran basically protesting against the restrictions of wearing a hijab out in public and whatnot. And yeah, loads of kids have gone missing, young people. There was a report of some 16-year-old girl recently was found dead at the police. And they're saying obviously the police were basically to blame for it, but I think they call them the ethics police, that basically go around marshalling people in public and making sure women wear hijabs and shit, and people aren't doing any sort of like, you know, what they would describe as circular activities. And they found this 16-year-old girl that had like a YouTube channel and shit, and just, you know, regular 16-year-old girl living her life who basically was murdered for fucking taking part in the protest. It's absolutely heinous. And I don't know, I think stuff like this, when it happens, of course it's happening in Iran, so, you know, I guess places in Western Europe or Western Hemisphere are nowhere near similar to Iran, regular everyday life, but it's still quite sobering and really kind of helps to clear your mind of all the nonsense drama you play up in your head in terms of your everyday life, because things could be much worse day to day. Do you know what I mean? There are women out there who are legitimately being murdered because they dared not to put a hijab on. It's absolutely heinous. But this is courtesy of Medium. It says the following: have you ever heard of this? Have you ever heard of this name? It's no longer a name anymore. In fact, it's become a name of a great protest movement that started in Iran with pain. Maybe the historical transformation is called Yes Masha Amina. This name is now the symbol of rising women movement in Iran. Women Women are organizing as an act of burning headscarves in the streets, and the flag motif consisting of waving hair is shared all over the world in waves. Men support women, and it's said that if there is no hair, there is no sin. Hair is cut. Slogans against the ruling Kamani are echoed everywhere, and there are street clashes in 83 provinces. Police are using live bullets to intimidate people. At least 3 people have died in demonstrations. Until now, such anger has accumulated among people, especially women, against the regime, that seems as if nothing is done. A 22-year-old girl called Masha Amani, perhaps this event has taken place December 13th, was the last straw. Everything was taken into custody by the morality police named Urshad, who roamed the streets and inspect people's clothing, not even why she is not wearing the hijab correctly, but because she is not wearing it correctly. I think it's been translated to another language, I think. I'm not too sure. It sounds a bit crazy. Of course, the police did not heed the objections. They said that they will teach him how to wear the headscarf correctly and that they will release him, but he fell into a coma, or her into a coma, while under police supervision, was taken to hospital and died in the morning of September the 16th. It was Masha's lifeless body that was released. The moral police had taken her life to the teachings of wearing the hijab. So yeah, man. Crazy, isn't it? Crazy. And you know what I think is, I was going to talk about it before it came up on the screen, but weirdly enough, I think the sharing of those pictures of bodies, especially that again injured or sometimes slain in these protests, they actually do a good thing in terms of actually putting a really dark, stark face to the cost of the protest and what's happening, and it kind of puts pressure on the other side to kind of chill out with the, you know, with the fucking live ammunition and whatnot. It actually does work in those cultures, for the most part, from what I've seen, and obviously to get the attention of the global community. That's what I think they mostly want to do. It definitely is good to see from that respect. So big up everybody in Iran protesting. Definitely don't big up the people in Paris, all these fucking French women who are getting their hair and cutting off fucking 4 fucking strands and acting as if they're protesting. No, the women who are actually in the streets of fucking Iran, do you know what I mean, risking their lives with no fucking hijab on, knowing full well that some guy could just end up sniping them from fucking, you know, 700 meters away, wherever it may be. Big up all of them doing that, because that's a real big risk that they're taking, and it's something that they're probably not going to see the benefits of. I mean, it's stuff that they're going to do. These protests are going to be seen benefits of from their generation. So the fact that they're doing it and taking that risk is fucking commendable, and definitely something to look at and think, you know what, maybe me not being able to get my fucking Starbucks in the morning isn't that big of a deal when women in flipping Iran are being legitimately murdered because they dare not to put a fucking hijab on. So big up them. Next, we want to talk about here, which is something that I think is legitimately, if ever there was something that I feel like would encapsulate how a shitty a company is, I think this will be an example of it, right? In terms of how they treat people, in terms of how they run their business in general, in terms of just how they operate. It's just, you know, they're just fucking shitty. It's just is what it is, isn't it? People just kind of grin and bear it because, you know, they provide a decent service, but in terms of how they work on the back end, we've had too many reports of people who get demonetized and taken off of that thing that you know what they're about. And I'm talking about Twitch. So Twitch having a TwitchCon at the moment, you know what TwitchCon is. YouTube have one. YouTube, it's not an official one, but everyone has those type of things, those conventions where you essentially go to meet your favorite fucking creator on that platform. You get to take some pictures, to do some games, giveaways, all that good stuff. They might show you some new development stuff. There might be some other brands in there showing some cool gadgets. It's an all-on convention full of other dorks and geeks just like yourself who want to go and meet these people in real life, celebrate, have a good time and chill, right? It makes a lot of sense. And I guess a lot of the big streamers on there are appearing on their partnerships, whatever it may be, drawing people in and having a good time. And one of them, a lady called Adriana Chechik, who I have no idea who she is because I don't really watch Twitch streamers like that, to be honest, but looks like they're having a whale of a time, as you can see here on the screen. They're in a foam pit, jumping around. Maybe they were doing that kind of gladiator thing where one person stands on one podium, one person stands on a podium, and you kind of fight and see who can fall down first. I guess she must have won because she's the only one left standing, and then she proceeds to jump into the pit to kind of celebrate, and inadvertently breaks her back in 2 places because the fucking pit for the foam wasn't deep enough, wasn't probably small enough, because they could probably get away with it if it was just smaller and just densely packed it in, but it wasn't deep enough, and it wasn't, and it didn't have enough foam in it to take her fall. It's fucking nuts.
Oh my god! Big victory there.
I can't get out. Are you okay? Are you okay?
She's held down by the pitbull. Medic!
Gravity.
No, she's fine.
All right, we'll make sure she is okay. Get her out of the pit.
Landed on her tailbone.
Yeah.
You know what I can't understand, and I think people that have probably fallen over more, who are maybe in the physical fucking therapy field, legitimately, on my life, like, I can't understand how you're a fucking cunt. I just saw the comment now. Teju, backshots new meaning. Legitimately, on my life, right? On my life. I cannot understand how jumping from that relatively small height would break your back in 2 places. The body is a fucking weird, innit? Right? The body is fucking weird. Like, look how it didn't, because even if the pit isn't too, again, the pit obviously isn't deep enough. We can see that, right? From this angle here, that's the pit length, right? That's the pit depth is it, right? From there, that white bit there, we can see that's the pit depth. So it's not that high. It maybe is what a couple of cube sizes in terms of depth wise. But you still think, even with that amount of, you know, with that less amount of fucking foam cubes in there, it should be enough to take a fall, innit? Don't you think so? But it doesn't. Just that one jump broke it.
Oh my God!
And it looked like, if I'm not mistaken, that she landed way more on her coccyx, or like, you know, the base of her bum or whatever it may be, than her actual backpack. Do you know what I mean? It's quite crazy, man. Like, what the body was, and again, her face when she gets up there, you can tell that pain, man. Because I know I've tweaked my back before. When I went to the gym, I think when I was deadlifting. I think this happened just after the pandemic. I think everyone did the same thing, right? Even the pandemic, I think, well, most people did. I know Party Next Door fucking did. You know, everyone got fucking fat because everyone was stuck indoors and there was no gyms open and stuff. And I remember the first time I went to the gym, I actually put on a few pounds. So I was obviously carrying weight on me, and I hadn't done any gym work. I hadn't even done a press up, a sit up, and nothing. So I went to the gym and I tried to pick up the same weight that I was picking up before the lockdown. So I went to go deadlift, and I guess I didn't brace myself properly, because usually I brace, I do the right things, have my back flat, you know, all the good stuff. Sometimes you put on a belt to help you with your fucking posture. And then I guess I did it, and my back was rounded, and I pulled, and the pain in my spine was crazy. I thought I broke my back, but I didn't. It's just like I pulled one of the muscles on either side, I think, somewhere around there, around the back. I forgot which one it was. And it just tweaked my entire back, and I couldn't walk properly. It was really, really painful. So I can only imagine if I had such pain with a fucking muscle sprain, imagine what it must be from fucking fracturing your spine and shit. Like, ouch. I can only imagine that pain. I really can only imagine that pain. Mine was just a sprain from fucking not warming up properly, not really, you know, setting myself up properly on the fucking deadlift. Just imagine her doing that. Oh God, like, I can't imagine, bro. I can't imagine. She legitimately broke her back, and I think there's an article I have here actually that she kind of speaks about it actually on here on BuzzFeed. Streamer and adult. Oh, she's adult. Oh, that's why you guys saying break her back. She's a porn star, you mean? Okay, cool. This makes a lot of sense. Adult performer Adriana Chechik says she broke her back in foam pit at TwitchCon. God damn it. Adriana Chechik, a popular Twitch performer and adult performer, says she broke her back leaping into a foam pit. She said, well, I broke my back in 2 places and I'm getting surgery to put a metal rod in for support today. a meter rod, not metal, a meter rod. Sorry, I thought metal. Send your support. What does she mean send your support? Does she mean send the tips and donations? Does she mean subscribe to OnlyFans? I'm joking. Chechik wrote on the Twitter account earlier today, she said, when it rains, it pours, and I'm definitely feeling the rain right now. Do you think she's going to sue Twitch? What do you think? Do you think she'll sue? Or is she just like, oh wow, she won an award for the best oral sex scene. Okay, cool. The video of the moment that was captured on a live stream, then shared on Reddit and official media, showed the end of the foam sword fight between Chechik and a person who later identified themselves as gamer streamer Eddie Bot. Eddie Bot falls into the pit. Chechik celebrates by jumping into the pit off a small podium, doing splits and landing on her tailbone. She immediately writhes in pain, tries to exit, and then collapses into the foam. Oh, I can't imagine. I'm just feeling it now. I cannot imagine how much that must have hurt. Fucking hell. Work compensation claim. Yeah, Exercise Sharma saying, hope she sues. She has to sue, innit? She's got to sue. Fuck me. Twitch are diabolical, innit? They make all these exceptions for these fucking, what they call them? These, what they call, what they did the kiddie pool streamers and stuff. They ban people without giving them explanation. Just horrible, right? So like very, very much a politically motivated kind of platform in terms of their ideology and how they do stuff. So very hard to kind of get away with certain things on there. Cool, that's all fair and well. You know what I mean, you're allowed to do what you want. It's your company, but the health and safety of your streamers should be paramount on these type of things, right? Fair enough if you ban me because I said a racy word or I made a racy joke or I have my views that you don't agree with politically. That's one thing because it's your platform, but my health and safety should be your number one priority when I'm out and about at your fucking events. Come on, for fuck's sake. Like, Jesus Christ. Plus as well, the risk involved or the consequences involved are quite bleak, because if somebody gets injured at your event and they sue, that could legitimately risk putting your company under. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, continue. Eddie for the probably the most painful thing I've seen in a while, says Jack Lucky. Let's continue. What are people saying here? God, okay. Reactions from other streamers. What people are saying here. The phone pit was organized by a computer maker Lenovo and was oh my god, Lenovo are on the hook for it. Oh my day. She's gonna be able to switch. She's gonna be able to switch. Gonna be able to sue Twitch and Lenovo. Wow, that bag's gonna be different. She might not even come out to streaming again, you know. The phone pit was organized by computer maker Lenovo and was part of their Legion of Lenovo booth at the convention. Our users of the social media said that they had been injured in the same pit. Okay, so other people said the same thing. Be careful on these things, guys. I'm currently in hospital if I've broken. Jesus Christ, dislocated her knee. Jumping in there, thinking it was a foam pit. Because I think I read in the comments somewhere, someone who makes foam pits or who designs them, who installs them, whatever, said in the comments like, it's very surprised. You would be surprised how deep they need to be. Oh my god. Uche, I let her son break my back in 2 places. The first, bruv. Hassan is like the female version of fucking Khalyla, innit? In that kind of group, innit? Right? The girls love Hassan like how the men love Khalyla, innit? But they pretend they hate her and then make documentaries about her. That's what they do. Fucking idiots. You don't see no girl making a documentary about how evil Hassan is, do you? You just see them thirsting over his pictures. They don't waste their time. Whereas the guys, they hide all their love for Khalyla by making documentaries about her poetry that she wrote when she was fucking 17. But no, I remember seeing a comment about some foam pit guy wrote something along the lines of how foam pits require a lot more foam than you'd think they would, and they also need to be very deep if they're not very wide. They have to be very, very deep, which is why they're usually quite high up or something. I forgot what they said, something weird. But yeah, so it's. Do you find it interesting too that it's always girls that get injured in this sort of stuff? Don't you think so? Because I have this theory, because I remember before I said how I shared my love of this sadistic love I have, where I like to watch videos of girls falling over, because it's always funnier to watch, because I feel like girls, for whatever reason, especially if you've grown up in a way more, I'd say feminine household where maybe you don't have brothers and shit, you don't do a lot of rough and tumble, girls don't fall a lot. So when they do fall, they just somehow, for whatever reason, they don't brace and they just let gravity take them. So if they fall like this, they'll just fall on their face. They won't like try and protect their face or like roll over on their side, like little things that you learn when you're a boy, when you play football, when you rough and tumble, when you skateboard, whatever it may be. So it's always funny. So is there any coincidence that this foam pit, however badly it was designed, the victims so far, we've just seen lots of girls. Like we've seen this lady who looked like she probably has never done a jumping jack. Another one. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just, there must be something in it. Or maybe there's other guys who have broken their backs, but they're just too manly to admit it, and they just all walked, or they just ran it off. I don't know. Oh, this is that lady, right? Is that the one that dislocated it? It's been over somebody else. It's been over 48 hours, but I'm okay and back home resting. I want to thank all those who wish me luck. Your girl don't go down without a bang. I broke my ankle all 3 possible ways. So this lady dislocated her knee. This one broke her ankle. The other one broke her back. And when BuzzFeed News visited the phone pit on Sunday, it was closed. Of course it was. Been open earlier in the day. The foam pit pieces felt somewhat squishy, but they were still rather so they're saying the foam squares themselves were too firm. Okay, that's why now I get it. It's not the pit was too deep. The actual foam themselves weren't as soft as they looked. So where do they buy these foam squares from? Fucking Amazon. Like, oh my god. The BuzzFeed News estimate the pit was less than 2 feet deep at, oh my god, 2 feet deep. So there's a hole in it. You're just hitting the floor anyway. Fucking hell, some kind of matter appeared to be underneath of the foam covering the concrete floor. According to the one British manufacturer of foam pit, standard gymnastic pits should be at least 6 foot deep. So they have 4 feet missing, with the base pit line following to stop the foam. So yeah, 6 feet is about my height. So it's a quite deep thing. It continues. A volunteer at the Lenovo booth declined to identify himself, saying that they're not authorized to speak to the media, but did say they have rules for the foam pit and they explained the rules. Okay, this fucking job's worth. A person who said they worked for the builder of the booth and also declined to identify themselves. We won't be adding any comment at this time. Yo, Lenovo, man, they're gonna have to back up the Brinks truck for that girl, bro. Representative of Lenovo didn't immediately respond for comments, and while the Twitch spokesperson said that they had no comment on Sunday afternoon because they were trying to gather information, convention volunteer Humberto Perez, a volunteer, had the guts to speak up. A volunteer, God almighty, told BuzzFeed that he had been near the pit on Saturday, said they just saw paramedics come by twice. Only twice on the Saturday, only twice. God almighty, Edgar, another person, Jimenez said, another convention volunteer. See? Only the blacks and the browns, right, are willing to speak up on record. Humberto volunteers said that he witnessed Chechek's injury. Said she was just doing a regular gameplay, but unfortunately during her victory dance she fell and landed where she was good for a good minute or so. Chechek has more than 3.8 million followers on Instagram, wow, and over 800,000 on Twitch. So she makes a good amount on Twitch, boy, where she streams herself playing games, making ASMR content, performing stunts. Okay, so she's one of them ones. She was repeatedly being a nominee of Female Performer of the Year at adult convention. Oh my god, man. That's horrible. But yeah, big up her. Hopefully she sues them to fucking into oblivion. They deserve it anyway. For the most part, they seem like a terrible company to work for, to stream on. And again, like, forget all that stuff. Just take care of your fucking talent. Like, Jesus Christ. I'd imagine most of the top streamers on there probably can say that they legitimately sell out tickets to get people to come to this event, right? People are legitimately traveling across the fucking country to go see these streamers, their favorite ones, in the flesh, get autographs, hang out, whatever it may be. Just look after them. Do you know what I mean? Make sure they go back home safe to their family if you could, mate. You know what I mean? What says here? Tuning in late, but did you see Mr. Beast turning down? Yeah. I did that. No, I didn't say make him the dumbest. I said it was a smart move, Alan N. I said him turning down 1 billion is smart. 1 billion is undervaluing what he has. Whoever offered him that was trying to fucking hoodwink him into accepting a bid because it was 1 billion mark, but he's worth more than that. I said he should be aiming to get a minimum of 100 billion, in my opinion. He said his number is 20 to 30, but I think it should be 100 minimum, in my opinion. And it'll only go up the more popular he gets. And I didn't know he was only fucking 24. He's fucking killing it. Mr. Beast is a killer. Never done. So yeah, big up Mr. Beast. Moving on. Let's quickly run through this and then we'll go to the fucking comedy stuff. So bear with me a couple more minutes and we'll go straight to comedy. Let's continue. Yeah, let's do this. Is this a thing? For wherever you are out there watching this stream, and hopefully you're enjoying yourself watching this as you are, and please make sure, if you haven't already, please make sure, Mr. Singh, big up, brother, thank you for tuning in, always appreciate you. If you haven't already, make sure that you do like the stream as you go on. That'll be much appreciated. And of course, if you want to come back another time, you can always subscribe, but make sure you're liking it. And if you're not liking it, dislike, that's okay. But if wherever you are in the world, wherever you happen to be in the world right now, please let me know. Is this something that's standard to you, or is this something that's only really popular here in the UK? Because whenever I'm leaving a nightclub, the one thing I always hear when I leave the nightclub, the one thing you always likely to hear leaving a nightclub or into a concert hall is this sound. Tss. which is a sound of various sellers of fucking what they called hydrogen or laughing gas, whatever the gas is, that they kind of put into balloons, and they sell them for usually 2 for a fiver, and then you flipping suck that in, and it makes your brain go a little tingly, and it makes you get a little bit high after the night out. Nitrous. That's the only thing you hear in clubs here in London all the time after you leave. And this little clip shows a pretty depressing scene because these kids look like they're all under the age of 18 in the daytime, sucking on balloons and having a whale of time outside in the streets. Is this big where you are and wherever you are in the world? Let me know, because I'm curious, because it's really popular here in the UK. And the spinning around thing to make yourself extra dizzy. You look kind of crackheady, innit? I didn't realize how crackheady you look when you're on that sort of stuff, man. You look like a real nitty, innit? Like, it looks... But, hey, we've all done it, so it is what it is. Holy smokes, they're absolutely gone. The only thing that's weirdly, what people saying in the comments here, emoji events is the illest. I remember movie reference was Sing says massive in Australia. Jake, oh really? It's big in Australia. Okay, interesting to know that. But where's the sim in the UK? Dick Puncher says I'm in New York and not that big here. Tiju says not in Atlanta. Colin Leach. Oh, you know what, Tiju? You say not in Atlanta, but you know what I remember? Iconically, I remember the first person who I saw put one of those flipping whippets to the face was Gunna. Gunna, the rapper who's unfortunately in prison at the moment, Free Gunna. He was the first person I saw take him to the face because he used to be on them. There was a period of time where he was addicted for a while. Do you know what I mean? And he took him to the face, and I thought that is fucking extreme, because I remember I've only done it a few times because I think it's overrated, like shisha kind of thing. Like, it's kind of like a thing where you get the buzz a couple of times and it kind of makes me feel queasy. But I remember when I first did it, I remember I just didn't like the taste and how it made me feel. So when I saw someone taking a whole canister to the face, I'm like, Jesus Christ, that must be crazy feeling. And you're drinking too and smoking weed and on perks and doing coke, whatever else you're doing. It's a crazy thing to be doing. But you know, I guess when you're a kid, you have to kind of experiment a little bit. And I don't know, I'm a bit weird in this. Maybe you guys will disagree here. I'll definitely Atlanta. Some people say, what do you think you agree? Kids will buy a computer, that's Walmart, and do a bootleg version of Proper Nights. Oh, true. Okay, I didn't know that. Uche, that's fucking crazy. But I know they sell them. So I don't know if it's still a thing, but I remember eBay were trying to ban them because people were selling kits on eBay for like £10, £20. So it'd be like a party starter kit, and it will come with balloons, and it will come with a nitrous thing. But I guess the law around it, to get around it, is the sellers on eBay would just sell it whippets or whatever that machine is. They'd sell it unconstructed, so you'd have to kind of build it yourself, kind of thing. And I guess is a way to kind of get around it, if I remember correctly, if I'm not mistaken. But there has been some really crazy stories happening off the back of it, though. Like, there was a story of some girl that got hospitalized and now she can't walk and shit, which is crazy. I don't know how many whippets you have to do that kind of stuff, but it's pretty extreme here. People are going mad. And just the other day when I went out, I heard like loads of people selling them and stuff. It just brought back memories, because I'm thinking it's such a weird drug to take as well, or such a weird thing to do after a club night. You're already spinning anyway, you're already drunk, and you're doing that. But part of me thinks I'm actually far more comfortable and okay with seeing a group of kids who are under 18 doing nitrous than I would be if I saw them in a park sharing a bottle of vodka or something. Does that make sense? Maybe it doesn't make sense because I don't have kids. Maybe that's why I'm thinking that way. But I think doing whippets is probably less damaging, and maybe will have less long-lasting effects than them being alcoholics at like 17 years old or 16 or 15 or 14. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. There's something about that. Maybe they're drinking in that video too. I don't really know, but I'd much rather them do whippets for a short period of time, think it's cool, then get off of it when they meet other friends, because that's what usually happens anyway with kids. It only takes another group of friends to either encourage you or dissuade you, and then suddenly you're not doing it anymore. I'm not too sure, man, but god damn it, man. Imagine looking outside the window and just seeing a group of 15-year-olds spinning in the street off a whippets. But yeah, let's move on. Last clip to show. This is fucking funny because this has happened to me before, or this happened in my family, extended family. This is a story that was kind of told for fucking ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever, where someone, you know, in the family died, and then the person was very popular, very well known. The fucking funeral was fucking incredibly attended in terms of people that came down, like it was a fucking concert. And then I guess somewhere along the line, the other family that people kind of knew about but didn't tell anybody about turned up, and it caused fucking it turned into fucking WrestleMania, where people fighting and stuff, and they announced it. So this is a video kind of similar to what happened in my family, but this is way more better. This is way more comedic because there's actual video to it. It's fucking incredible. I love black people. I love black people.
Lebahang was in pain.
Oh, let me get on the screen. I forgot to get on the screen.
Lebahang was in pain. It turns out his wife had brought a man into the house. Please, don't you dare.
That's it. That's it. Cannot.
She brought a man into my brother's house. She brought a man into my brother's house.
R.I.P. Lebango. What's his name? Actually, what's the guy's name? Lobo Gang. R.I.P. Lobo Gang. Whoever you are, Lobo Gang. Like, that's no way for your memory to be fucking remembered. But bloody hell, man, your sister's out there riding for you, Lobo Gang. Your sister is out there riding for you. She is riding for you. Is that your sister? That is sister, isn't it? I think it's your sister. Sister, mum, whoever that lady is, she's fucking riding for you. Lobo Gang, she's riding. God damn it. That dodge for the water bottle was good as well. Let's see the dodge.
In pain. It turns out his wife had brought a man into the house. Please, don't you dare.
Wish she'd nearly caught it and ditched it.
That's it. That's it. Cannot.
She brought a man into my brother's house. She brought a man into my brother's house.
I love it, man. I love it. I love that sort of drama. I love that sort of drama, man. I fucking do. It's the worst of a funeral because you feel like people, but it happens a lot, isn't it? The pain of someone losing somebody or whatnot. You want to share those things, but god damn it. Anyway, let's move on. So, Brendan News. So Brendan Schaub, the man, the myth, the legend, decided to share some new Thick Boy merch, Thick with 3 C's, which is dumb and silly, but it's a good way to kind of differentiate your thick from everyone else's thick, because thick is a thing that people say a lot now to kind of describe fluffy, well-rounded fat people, basically, right? It's kind of a nice way to say fat. It's a nice way to say, I don't know, obese or whatever it may be. I don't know, whatever it may be. Thickums, thicko, thickery, fuckity doom. The funny thing about the Thick Boy thing is that if you're actually a fan of Brendan, do you legitimately refer to yourself as a thickum, or as a thicky, or as a thicker? Like, do you actually wear that with pride? Because I remember when I used to love the show, I quite liked the term T-Fat-K Army. I quite like being part of the army, right? The T-Fat-K Army. We got Brian Callen's back. We got fucking Brendan Shaw's back. Right, that's what I like being. I like being an army person, right? Like, because I always had aspirations or kind of delusions of grandeur that I would one day be in the flipping, army myself, right? When really and truly, the sight of my own blood makes me fucking squeal, right? That probably wasn't gonna happen, but still, you can have those delusions. And I wear a lot of camo, trendy clothes and whatnot, and I have a couple of M65s in my wardrobe, whatever, boys are with army stuff. So that's one thing. But to call yourself a thicker, a thickum, a thicky, a thickery, a thickloid, whatever, what a Mr. Thick, a Mrs. Thick, whatever the term is really strange. So that's the only thing that I say is weird about the name of the brand, Thick Boy Club. Yeah, it's just weird. Thick, or to call it Thick Boy, it's just strange because you have to be it's obviously aimed towards guys, so you take away a whole chunk of population that could wear it. No girl's gonna want to wear a fucking shirt that says thick boy. You might as well wear a shirt that says turbo slut on it, or holes. All my holes are open or something, right? It's a bit of a weird shirt to see a girl wearing saying thick boy. So it's only gonna be sold to men. No women are gonna buy it, and also it's only gonna be sold to fat dudes. I'm not sure how many fat dudes are out there. I don't know in the world. Maybe there's, I don't know how percentages of them. Because no skinny guy's gonna be want to refer to as thick, and no kind of ripped guys. I don't know. It's just a strange. It kind of really sort of like alienates a lot of people. So you can only appeal to a certain group of people, right? That's one thing. And of course, there's a Brendan Schaub thing. You have to be a fan of him. I don't know. It's just a strange thing. So it's one thing. It's one thing. So if anything, to be honest, though, I think it looks the best on him, which is a compliment, because I think sometimes designers make clothes and they don't even wear their own stuff. They just want to sell it to you. But as influencers or content creators goes, he actually wears his own stuff and he actually makes it look pretty decent. But this stuff, for whatever reason, triggered people online and they started attacking him in the comments. And it just made me think, like, sometimes you have to give this guy credit for just, turning up in the morning and just putting his best foot forward, because he must know this happens. Even though he pretends he doesn't watch social media, he must know this is an occurrence that occurs all the time on his stream, on his flipping place, where people are just saying the wildest stuff to him. So this is his tweet that he put out where he's advertising his new Thick Boy merch. It says, ain't nothing like some stealth tie-dye. I don't know what stealth tie-dye is. I don't know if that's a thing, but supposedly there's tie-dye is like camo prints, right? There's different sort of variations of it. I didn't know that. I thought the whole idea about tie-dye is like you tie-dye it, right? You put fucking elastic band around it, you dip it in the fucking colors and shit, let it sit, and then when you unravel it, you get all these like different designs and colors. You can't exactly design it to look a certain way, can you? Or am I mistaken? I swear tie-dye, that's the whole point. It's like random blotches are everywhere of like bleaching, whatever coloring else you put in there. But anyway, now there's stealth tie-dye. Brand new stealth collection available now. It's a collection now. It's not even just a tie-dye thing. It's a whole collection. It's available now from Tiger Thick, just restocked. Get both. So what? Hold on. There's brand new stealth collection available now. Also Tiger Thick, just restocked. Okay, he's saying there's a stealth tie-dye, which is part of a collection, and then he's also tagging at the bottom of that Tiger Thick whiskey. But I guess he ran out of words, so he couldn't put Tiger Thick whiskey. He just put Tiger Thick, thinking everyone knows it, as if it's fucking as if it's Jameson or some shit. Let's go on his website. Actually, I've never actually seen it. Look at the website. Let's see what the actual Thick Boy website looks like. Thick Boy website, stealth collection, right there to shop it. Oh, it's disappeared now. You can't shop it anymore. No, let's go back and shop it. Yeah, okay, we got the Thick Boy collection there where we can shop. Brilliant. And then we go to shop the collection. And what does he have here? He has jumpers, he has t-shirts, he has side bags. The only good thing I can say about it is the pricing is pretty decent. You'd have to fucking, I'd have to be, I don't know what I'd have to be in life to wear stuff like this in real life, but the pricing is pretty decent, right? The sweatshirt here is $55. The what's that? Long body. Oh, that's a t-shirt he's wearing that looks like skirts. What's up with him wearing these t-shirts? Is that because he thinks they make him look skinny or something? Why would you want to wear a shirt that's so long? Isn't the whole point of a t-shirt that it's like a T-shape? So it kind of sits just above your fucking belt button or whatever it may be. Or if you're on an extra long one, you just get like a bigger size, but you don't want it to be extra long. It looks like a skirt. If you're going to wear a skirt, just wear a skirt. Just buy a fucking kilt. But that's the thing with him, innit? He's probably into fashion and probably wants to wear a kilt, but he's too self-conscious. So the best way to do it is just to wear a really long t-shirt and then pretend it's a t-shirt. Like how you remember, like how Young Thug, when he first came on the scene and he was a bit shy and he had that famous shoot where he was wearing a leather fucking leopard print dress, and they asked him, is that a dress? He said, no, it's not a dress, it's a shirt. And obviously he said, yeah, but it's covering my Glock or something, right? It's fucking crazy like that. So obviously Brendan hasn't got a Glock. He's probably got a couple of donuts in there or some fucking nicotine patches. But yeah, the prices are decent though for what they are. Let's be fair to him. The prices are pretty decent. $35 for the little side bag. Again, to have this as a, You know, imagine pulling up to a club or going out with your friends and he rocks up with his little thick boy pouch and he opens it up to get his little chapstick out, get his phone out. Like, I bet this will definitely get the girls horny in the clubs, isn't it, right? Right? The fellas will be lining up, the girls will be screaming your name as you're walking down the street with this little thick boy bag. But yeah, I guess so. But anyway, the point I was making about this whole thing isn't about the website, it's about the comments. The comments are fucking brutal, bruv. Like, and again, I'm not the fan of the stuff, and I, you know, would never wear it in a million years. But at least he's fucking trying and definitely trying to, you know, diversify his fucking revenue stream and make something better out there and put out there for the fans. But look at the comments, bruv. No one is buying this, you pathetic man. The first comment, like, let him just eat and live. If you don't like it, just keep it moving. Like horrible. Jesus Christ, who buys this tat? Continue on. I want to play that video later. Oh, I can't wait to look like a cow. Go thick boy. Another one. I would feel like such a goof wearing that crap. Another one. Grown men wearing thick boy on anything is just sad. Where's the grey-haired lesbian? Oh my god. They call him a grey-haired lesbian. Oh my days. Hi Marg. Okay. Marg. Oh, I just realized that, by the way, just the other day. I realized the Frighten the Kid subreddit guys who are calling BGL Marg, and I thought it was pronounced Marge. They're actually calling him Marg because that's how it sounds like when Brendan pronounces his actual name. Oh, these guys on that subreddit, man, they're just too much. I swear to God, they are too much. Who said? Oliver is thick boy pouches to keep your whippets in. Yeah, exactly. That's how keep them all in. On the night out, I'll keep whippets in. I'll be like, at the end of the night. Do you know what I mean? Where's my bag? Where's my bag? Where's my bag? Where's my bag? That'll be the stress of the whole night. Where's my fucking bag? Who's got my fucking whippet bag? So I'm gonna get real mad. I'm gonna set BGL on you. What's that? Why is the donut dripping? Oh yeah, that's always the funny bit, right? The logo of the donut dripping looks like a fucking asshole. Looks like a fucking bussy, as the guys were saying now online. Like, oh yeah. Again, it's probably our fault for seeing that because it's just a donut illustration, but still, another one. There's nothing stealthy about a cow print. I'm gonna get free tickets to San Jose just to walk out and mid-set, bruh. Honestly, he must definitely see this stuff, these comments. He has to. There's no way he doesn't see them. And I obviously have to give the guy credit. What are we doing here, Papa? As much as I like to laugh at the dude, I do think he deserves credit for just turning up every single day. He must deserve credit for turning up. He has to, in my opinion, because like he's got more dislike comments on this post than he has actual likes. Because I read more than 16 comments already. No, I didn't read more, sorry. I saw more than 16 comments. That's fucking insane. And let's see, what's the music? Is it going to be, I'm in love with the better shop? What is it? Is the thick boy? What's the song? Let's see what the song is going to be. Hopefully it's nothing copyrighted. What's the song? Let's load this shit. Yeah, fuck it. Some nondescript beats, right? The beats, nondescript beats that people use for this shit. But yeah, the video is pretty harmless and whatever it may be, but the comments are fucking relentless, bro. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Well, yeah, you have to be a special level of redact to wear that in real life, to be honest. But hey, if you're a fan of his, I guess, go to, what is it? thickboy.com and get your fucking thickboy merch, innit? What's the other stuff he has on here, actually? Let's see shop all. Let's see, I want to see the whole thing. Let's see shop all. Let's see shop all. Is that it? No, I want to see shop all. Give me the all shop. I want to see everything that's stocked in this fucking Thickboy website. Okay, that's the collection, the stuff collection. Jesus Christ, imagine wearing this shit, man, like that. That is horrendous. Okay, that's the print on the. So this is real fanboy shit. You have to be a fan of the new studio. And be a fan of the artwork on the walls that he copied or stole from somebody else, and then the thick boy thing, and then all the donuts around it. Imagine wearing that, like, proudly. It's like, what? The hat's not too bad. This hat's not too shabby. I'd maybe rip off the logo. That hat I'll probably wear. TB thick with the wet ass thing on the back of it. Not for me. I'm fine. The baby, the blue one. Did he take that picture on purpose like that so he could flex his fucking muscles on his this guy, man? Oh yeah. Oh, of course he's modeling. Oh, look who's modeling it. This is the only problem with this stuff, right? Again, talking objectively, you have to be a fan of them to wear it. That's the problem. Because I think if there was less association with him as a human, maybe he'd sell more of it. But because you have to be a fan of his to wear it, it's hard. Because if you don't like them as people, you're not going to want to support the brand, which maybe is what they want. They want maybe really dead, like, oh, Jesus Christ, look at that. A little bit of cheeky chest there, right? A little bit of Brendan DNA you can see through there. Is that like a rash? Man took a picture of his chest and didn't even bother to get the fucking psoriasis checked out or whatever this eczema shit is going on here. Like, just come on, brother, man. A little bit of work in it here and there. Even a Photoshop job would have got rid of that. But hey, what's that? We got racing car stuff. Thick boy car club. There's a bike club. There's a car club. Like what? So you're driving your thick car? Is there such a thing as a thick car? What's a thick car? What's that Jeep all the people in Texas drive? What's that thing called? And they're gonna make there's an electric version of it. What's it called? It's a Ford something. It's like a Jeep truck thing that all people drive in Texas or South. It's like a pickup truck. What's it called? That's an F-150. The only fat people drive that. Am I asking ignorant? Is that a dumb question to ask? F-150. The only fat people drive that, or is that like a thing for everybody? What's a fat person car in America? I know a fat person car here in the UK is like like what's it called? Shit. Oh. They're like these minivan type shits. Or like got 5 seats in it. Ford make one, Toyota make one, kind of like a skinny boy who drives a F-150. Okay, big up, good robot. Little Wiener's driving. Okay, cool. But regardless, to drive, look at the funny face. The funny, not so funny face, like he got beaten up or something. Okay, the iconic. This is the iconic shirt, isn't it? Remember this? That picture goes trolled for a while. This iconic shirt, this weird like Jamaican donut shirt. Like I don't know what's going on here with this shit. It's on sale though for $38.50 if you want it. Oh mate, there's a look at this. There's a Gringo Pappy shirt. They're all long body for it's on sale. The special just came out. He's selling merch for the special shirt that's 30% off. If that doesn't tell you how badly that special was received, I don't think anything will. There's a stadium jacket thing here. What's it? Stickers, I guess. That bike decal stickers. There's a bum bag. Oh, the girl stuff. Is that fucking Cat just modeling it or not? Is that Cat's new BBL there on display, right? That was the rumor, innit? That when she went away and she was ill or something, that she went to go get a BBL done or something. That's what people start saying. And then what is mystery hoodie, mystery box? But it's not really a mystery, innit? You're gonna get something from the above if you buy one. It's not really a mystery. You're gonna get one or the other. Fucking hell. What's a Tiger Thick whiskey? What's that site saying? Let's see what the whiskey is saying. Oh man, this is fucking hilarious. I should check this more often. Tiger Thick whiskey, a harmonious blend of straight bourbon whiskey and Japanese whiskey finished in Mizunara barrels, made in collaboration with comedian and podcaster Brendan Schaub. 10 reviews. What are the reviews saying? All positive, of course, isn't it? Of course. All positive. No such thing as a negative review in Brendan Schaub land. All 5 stars. Love every drop. Great whiskey. Mace, what's the latest one? Bought this whiskey for my husband for his birthday. He doesn't drink, but boy did he love this. He takes a shot of this every day. This is a troll. This is a troll. I don't care. This is a troll. I bought for my husband for his birthday. He doesn't drink, right? But boy, did he love this. He takes a shot of this every day. I have to say, it's delicious and has a smooth taste, and love it. But by fair, the best I've tried. Another person, truly delicious. You guys hit it out of the park with this one. Nice work. Another person. I was hesitant at first. I didn't think mixing these two whiskeys together was a good idea. But it turned out to be a great idea. Very unique, and the bottle looks great as well. I don't care. This is a troll. I don't fucking care. This is a troll. It's 100% a troll. I don't fucking care. Oh, my eyes. Another one. This is by far one of my best whiskeys I've tasted. I'm going to need this to be stocked regularly because I'm going to be needing another bottle real soon. Fantastic take, mind-blowing finish. Definitely recommend to try. Absolutely amazing blend, amazing finish, great stuff. Tiger Fit goes down smooth and tastes incredible. I'm not a huge whiskey guy, but this is another one. This is actually really good. It's super smooth for whiskey for me, not harsh in the mouth. Smooth going down, good taste. This might actually make me a whiskey fan. I was really surprised on this. Oh shit, man. My eyes. I'm literally crying. Oh God. Oh. Those are someone definitely wrote those, and I think one of the persons that wrote those, you know, people think he looks like a lion. I definitely think he may be partaking writing these, but god damn it, B, $80 for this, bruv. Like, the pictures are fucking, the product picture is fucking terrible too. Just a nitpick. It's poorly lit. Doesn't look like it was even a product picture. It looks like it was a picture that was taken out from a group of bottles that photoshopped in there. The group picture isn't any better either, is it? Like, oh, come on, you gotta do better than that, bruh. This is terrible. The spacing isn't right. The way it's just all wrong. Everything about it is wrong, and that's why I wonder too. Why doesn't he? I've always curious. Why don't they have an art director for what they do? Like, overall, they need one, definitely. Thick Boy, Tiger Thickums, whatever. They need an art director, a creative director to just oversee everything, so it's all kind of there's some synergy and it all kind of blends in. Because you look at the artwork they have for Shorb Show, for everything else happening underneath that umbrella, nothing of it links. Everything's all different. It's all really weird. I don't know. It's so strange. But hey, what can you do? Maybe I'm just talking out my ass as per usual. Oh, let's talk about this quickly, because I want to set the record straight for some of my fucking critiques, for critics out there, right? This video that I was watching, I watched part 1. We'll watch a bit of part 2 later, but not now. About Khalyla Coon, the most sadistic woman in comedy, part 2, right? This guy called XLP put together this documentary. It's been gaining traction and people have been loving it and being all over the moon about it. I said in the previous stream that I don't necessarily get the whole Khalyla hate, especially the levels that they're going at. I understand she can be annoying. I played a video that I still laugh at to this day, where she basically makes the whole George Floyd death all about her, starts weeping, maybe because she feels guilty that she hasn't fucked a black dude in ages or something. I don't know. It's fucking bizarre. One of the strangest things I've ever seen in my life. She's just, you know, and she's got that annoying, like, baby voice thing when she's clearly a woman in her 40s. It's something, there's stuff about her that's strange and weird. But the way the documentary painted out to be this, like, mastermind puppet thing, like, they tried to make her seem as if she was like, who's Kim Jong-un's sister? Do you remember that rumor that came out that Kim Jong-un's sister was like the really lethal one, who was the one that was responsible for murdering their uncle or whatever, maybe, who got, like, you know, assassinated at an airport or some shit? That's what they made her seem to be. Like, Khalyla was that level of sadistic, was that level of evil, when really and truly she probably took advantage of some guy who clearly needed babying, clearly needed a mum, and he didn't mind being taken advantage of because he needed some sort of, like, trophy or something to show that he was successful. I don't know, whatever he got from having her next to his side. So it's a kind of mutually beneficial scam, mutually beneficial, you know, pieces of shit to each other. So I didn't really give a fuck about it, and I said so much in the stream. Then, when this fucking stream ends, everyone's hitting my comments up saying, oh, you're a Khalyla, what do people call me? They call me a Khalyla simp. A fucking simp for Khalyla. I don't give a fuck about this lady. Literally don't care the slightest bit about her at all. I don't even watch Tiger Belly like that. But just because I don't agree or don't fucking jump on the bandwagon of thinking because this woman clearly loves sex a lot to the point where she exhausted Bobby Lee and wanted to go fuck other guys in Hawaii, like all of them, that somehow because I don't agree that liking sex is a crime, everyone's attacking me and calling me a simp. They're calling me a simp because I'm not attacking and think like she's evil. It's very bizarre, and I don't know what's going on. Honestly, I've said it before. I really don't get the level of hate you guys have for this woman. Like, I don't know if it's like suppressed feelings, if maybe it's like, or maybe you know what it might be. To be fair to you guys, it might be that some of you might be OG Bobby Lee fans, so you might remember a time in history when Bobby Lee wasn't with Khalyla and he was single. And he was somewhat kind of in the streets, or maybe he had a different kind of personality, and maybe you attribute the podcast going to shit or Bobby Lee turning into an annoying guy or whatever it may be with Khalyla's introduction. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe she kind of represents like a shift in Bobby Lee and people don't like that. I'm not too sure. Whatever it is, it's strange, it's odd, it's weird. And I'm not going to stop calling out the fact that it's strange that you guys are making documentaries about her writing shit poetry. That where she's trying to be edgy and, you know, whatever. Girls write poetry, it is what it is. Girls write poetry, dorks write poetry, it is what it is. Everyone kind of goes through that, especially if you go through a heartbreak. I remember having a book that I used to have where every time some girl said no to me, I'd fucking write stories about it and open up my heart, and it was fucking painful and sobby and pathetic to read back, and I burned them all, right? We've all done some form of that self-healing thing before. It is what people do. Some people take it more serious than others. Some people start doing all that slam poetry stuff like to be, and if you are in there, you take it, and that fucking, that kind of black poetry shit people do, which is fucking annoying. Everyone's done it before in the past, but come on. Is that really a crime? Should you really be having videos with fucking 500,000 views on it, making it seem as that? Come on. No, I was saying no, all of us. Fuck you, Mr. Singh said no, all of us. Trust me, well, I did, because I got many rejections. So I had a lot of heartbreak to share. I was like Drake before Drake, mate. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I said her cartoon image was sexy. You guys in this, I don't care about the lady. I don't fancy her. Don't give a fucking fuck. I'm not gonna fly over there to see her. Don't care nothing about it. Fucking these guys, man. You said her. Okay, imagine I did see an animation. I thought it was. Does that mean I'm a simp? Honestly, the comedy fans who also like the girls in comedy are always a bit weird. Anyway, they're a bit possessive, I think. I don't know. There's a strange energy going on with comedy fans, because I think all of them are like. I think if you was to ask all female comedians to really open up their DMs from they get from fans, I think people would be in for shocks. You guys, I don't know. I think it's a bit strange, personally, for me. The guy who put the thing together is probably the worst victim of them all. My man sat there pulling all these fucking, going on her old Facebook and all this stuff, and I don't know. I think that's, you have to kind of check yourself with that one, innit? Maybe or maybe not. I don't know. Who cares? Anyway, moving on, because I genuinely do not care about Khalyla. Don't care about Bobby Lee. Don't care about any of these people. It's just funny to watch it from the outside in. I just could never see myself making a documentary or caring enough to be like, no, man, she's actually really bad, bro. You should look into it. It's like, really? I looked into it. She likes sex. I looked into it. She might have taken advantage of fucking Bobby Lee. I looked into it. She might have used the opportunity of being next to a really well-known comic to boost herself, right? And give herself a flipping, another career, kind of clout, leech off his clout a bit. Is that a crime? Really? If you had a partner and she wasn't doing anything, or she's just some regular girl, when you want to help her out, give her a job, maybe help let her do the fucking merch. If she doesn't like that, maybe let her do something else, come on a show, whatever. I don't know. That's what everyone would do, innit? Like, I don't know. Who gives a fuck? Anyway, moving on. So Theo Vaughan and Tony Hinchcliffe sat down and basically had some words to say about the whole Brenda Shaw, Bobby Lee stuff. And it's kind of trite now. It's kind of all past, but it's interesting to hear their thoughts about the whole thing and what they kind of saw of it from looking from the outside in. And again, I like to stress. I still find it very interesting how no one really makes a fuss about the fact that Brendan tried to fuck his supposed comedy industry friend or peer, girlfriend, or basically de facto wife at the time, behind his back whilst he's doing a relationship himself. No one makes a point of that. That's not something that people say that, oh my god, if he tried to do it to me, I would never talk to him again. It's not that. It's just more so about the drama and the be ha ha he he, which makes me think either Brendan still has the kind of pull and the influence of Joe Rogan's name that people are afraid to really say what they think, so they kind of just laugh it off, or B, it means that maybe Khalyla is known to be a bit of a whore behind the scenes, and she maybe has slept with other comedians, you know, who weren't Brendan while she was with Bobby Lee, which is why they're not going to town with that, because they know that they were ones to partake, or they would like to partake, or they know someone that did partake, so it'd be hypocritical of them to kind of throw a hissy fit over that because they've heard of it themselves. Because no one really mentions it anymore. No one says it at all. Like, oh, but that's pretty fucked up. Like, I mean, Bobby's meant to be your friend, and here you are trying to fuck his girl. No one says that. It's all just, I don't know, oh, this is really crazy, man. This is really crazy. The drama's crazy. But it's never like, the actual point of it is that, no, he tried to fuck somebody else's girl. It's not that he tried to fuck Annie Lederman. She's single. Okay, he's in a relationship, but cool, she's single. If she said no, she said no. It's a funny story, walked me to a truck, but the Khalyla stuff is fucked up because, you know, it's meant to be what she say. It was around Christmas time. He's opening presents with his kids, but then he's texting her on the sly about, you know, linking up at his truck or taking her out for a spin on the Ferrari. I don't know. Let's see what they said anyway, and then you guys can let me know if you agree or don't agree.
You'd think Bobby would have ability to email everybody, especially since he's doing all that browser hunting or whatever on Brendan Shaw's fucking. Since he's stalking Brendan on his own, whatever. That whole debacle was. That's one of the fun. It's almost like a sketch show, you know.
He nearly says one of the most funniest things, right? Imagine. It's so funny that Brendan tried to fuck Khalyla. Why would he try to do that for? He knows she's not gonna fuck him. Yeah, it's like, what? That's quite hilarious, isn't it? That goes to show their principles and morals in general as an industry. They just all must be just fucking each other, innit? That's probably what happens, isn't it? Don't you think so? They all just fucking each other. Joe Rogan's fucking Bert's fucking Ari's fucking Christina P, like Christina P's fucking Theo. Like, they're all just fucking each other. That's probably why, behind the scenes. So this is probably not that big of a deal, but they're just not as sloppy maybe as Brendan is. Who knows?
When you go watch that, it's like they had like screen grab. Like, Brendan doesn't own a computer, which is the funniest part of all of it, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's like, he's getting this research to have like screen grabs on his phone. The whole thing was just.
That's hilarious though. I didn't know that bit about it, right? He doesn't even own, he doesn't actually own a computer or own his own laptop, which makes sense because, you know, he probably uses his chin for everything and just manages his social media and his other stuff on his phone, even though he says he doesn't check social media or social media, as he says. But that's hilarious, isn't it? That whole 800 pages stuff.
So ridiculous.
It's wild. I couldn't get enough of it. That was my like thing. I switched from like police interrogation videos to like following the Shab and Bobby Lee thing for a while. It's on my YouTube algorithms just filled with Bobby Lee, Brendan Shab, Khalyla, like
I know.
Weird. Because I can't. There's sometimes I'm on one thing and then sometimes I'm like, maybe they did do that. Like, it like switches quickly. It's like if you're talking to, you know, your gun-toting friend and then all of a sudden you're with your liberal. Well, if there were no guns and this happened, you know, like sometimes you can see both sides of the argument.
yeah.
I'm like, well, I mean, Brendan, you know, hate happens to people. People are jealous. You know, you're a fighter turned comedian, and then all of a sudden I saw one clip where Khalyla's like, yeah, I'm a lot better at the internet than people think, and I'll destroy someone. It's like from an episode years earlier, and like I'm like, whoa. This is all wild because people have made some serious breakdown videos of that stuff.
Oh, I'm amazed at how.
It's probably XOP. And like I said, it does come across like somebody that's trying to basically make you think one way. It's not even like a impartial documentary. It's like, okay, cool. My premise is that this woman's sadistic and evil. Here's my evidence proving that. It's not like both sides. It's not impartial at all. It's like somebody that clearly has, not has it in, but, you know, sees her in one way, which is fair. He's allowed to see it one way, but it's just like how everybody's latching onto it. It's fucking hilarious, man. It literally is hilarious. You guys are making her seem way smarter than what she actually is. No offense to the lady, but I don't think she's as smart as you guys make it seem.
How like there's such a world now with podcasting. There's also like this soap opera undercurrent of all of it, you know?
I don't play it. You would think Kill Tony would be a big poker, and like I get it. People like.
And again, can I be honest with this? As much as I like to enjoy talking about soap opera stuff, it's not a soap opera stuff. It's not. As much as I say this is like my version of the Kardashians because it's just fucking full of nonsense. Let's be honest. It's the same characters all the time that are involved in this nonsense. You don't really hear me talking about anybody else apart from this kind of orbit of people who are kind of like in the JRE extended universe. That's all of them that kind of get upset because they're the ones that are like constantly, gossiping behind each other's backs, being dicks to each other, doing nonsense things, being detached from reality, not being self-aware, not reading a room, all this sort of stuff, right? That's what they constantly do. Other comedians who have podcasts and keep chugging along and entertaining their fan bases and doing doing what needs to be done. I never talk about them. I never do. Because they just do what. So this idea that there's a general kind of undercurrent of drama around them, it's not true. Like the ones who are not dramatic, who are unproblematic, just keep doing what they're doing. The ones that are and kind of succeed or fail off the back of it, they keep on doing it, and that's what keeps this content world churning. Look at that kid who's not kid, sorry. Look at that guy that's got a channel at the moment who's doing pretty well for himself and he just started. What's his name? Too Lazy to Try. Just scan his videos and look at the thumbnails. It's the same people most of the time. There are maybe some throwback stuff he maybe will explain, but for the most part, it's all the same people that are involved in the same drama week in, week out. So it's not as if like, we're out here making things up and adding narratives to it. It's just what you see. It's just what you see. You're reporting it. You talk on it. Not reporting it. I'm not fucking Don Lemon or what's his name? Is it Don Lemon or Don Cannon? No, Don Cannon's a producer. But whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's just watching clips online and just laughing at them. That's all it is, really. It's not that deep. But again, these guys, man, they're a little bit. What's that word called? They're allergic to like not criticism but pushback. They just want you to like sit there, watch them, consume what they watch, get entertained by it and leave. They don't want you to ask any questions or to have any kind of retort back or say your opinion. It's really strange, to be honest. But hey, what can you do?
Like drama, but I don't want. I've always looked at it like if you play that game, those are the types of fans you're gonna get. You want to be drama. You want to do gossip. You want to do this. You're gonna end up. Then you're not even in the comedy world anymore. All of a sudden you're in the drama world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I look at some of the people with successful YouTube shows and podcasts that aren't stand-up comedians, and I see them doing that a lot.
Ethan Klein show does that a lot.
Yeah.
I noticed they get a lot more like, but he does a great show. Yeah.
I like that fake fucking LA disclaimer. Ethan Klein does a lot of drama and he's really bad at that, and he's one of the worst ones. Yeah, but he's a great show. Great guy. Never met him.
And Ethan's we've had some great conversations, man. He's an extremely deep guy.
I love the LA platitude. You can't just say your opinion. You have to kind of preface it with like a great guy, good guy, beast of a dad. It's like, what? You just insulted me. You can't call me a beast of a dad now.
But yeah, I think that's just their world. I guess it's also, what is your world?
Right.
And what do you like? Like some people, they like that.
Right.
All right, mate. All right. I guess we all like stuff, innit? You like strawberries, you like chocolate, is what it is, innit? I guess. Anyway, moving on. Quickly moving on. Let's rattle through these things. Yes, but what's this one? Customer wanted his refried, also asked for more spice. Okay, I'm not too sure what this is about, but let's just play it anyway. This features Eric Griffin, Chris D'Elia, and Brendan Schaub on there. King and a Sting, which doesn't have a king anymore because Thingy's gone. What's his name? Theo, but they keep the same name. Weird, but hey, they continue. Let's see what they're saying.
You know what's good is that
Eric out here doing double shifts. Do you know what I mean? He's got a family to raise now. Wife, probably gonna start a family soon. I mean, he's out. He's riding that fucking thick boy check, that bus, and he's not getting off of it, mate. Cash in those checks, brother.
You know what's good is that show Dark? Was that German show?
Yeah.
That show's fucking good as shit, dude.
Yeah.
Hey.
What I don't like about binge watching.
Hey, do you have anything current, dude?
Well, that's
Like, what
pretty
about
current.
something new?
Dark is pretty
What about
current.
something new? Like, not so niche.
I don't know.
It's funny how much it has such basic bitch taste in it. I know people like this exist who don't like, not everyone likes to watch fucking, look at Krista's face. Not everyone likes to watch like series that we have to have subtitles. No, I'm not sure. No, I'm pretty sure Dark has English dubbing, but some people don't like dubbing. I don't particularly. If it's a foreign show, I like to watch it in this fucking language and then read the fucking shit. I just hate how the mouths move and it's not the same. I just fucking hate it. And once you see it, I can't unsee it. And plus, I watch a lot of foreign TV shows anyway, maybe because I'm British and we get a lot of that kind of stuff shown here. And generally, I don't mind watching it because, it's a good way to learn a language and, have a peek into another kind of culture or community, even though it's, it's obviously TV, so it's not kind of like for like, but it's nice to watch here and there. Gomorrah being a good example of it. But I know some people hate watching things with subtitles. I know it's a thing. But it's just, forget all that. It's just the taste levels. Like, Dark is too niche. Dark is like some art house movie or something. When it's not. It's one of the better kind of foreign series on Netflix. Did pretty well at the time it was out. It was doing the rounds on all the places that you see people talking about TV shows. Like even on YouTube, those YouTubers that talk about shows were talking about it. It was like a well discussed show, but for him it's too niche.
You won't watch Breaking Bad.
Yeah, bro, this guy's niche with his fucking...
See?
I'm definitely not watching it.
What are you watching?
Won't watch Breaking Bad. It says Breaking Bad, even though Breaking Bad, it took a long time for me to get into it because it builds up very slowly. But to say you don't want to watch Breaking Bad and you think it's crap, it just says everything about your fucking taste in TV shows, isn't it, really, for the most part? Maybe it's harder to watch now, so many years, past it, but, Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad is amazing.
Name a show, dude. Stranger Things,
Boo!
Ozark,
Of course.
Narcos, Yellowstone.
Narcos is fine. Narcos is fine, but dude, they need to stop with the fucking voiceover, dude. There's so much. It's like I know what I'm watching, motherfuckers. It's like and the Narcos.
You speak Spanish?
No.
Well, that's why they have.
No. The fucking guy is like, and then the Narcos was ahead of us there, and we went to the Narcos, and then what the Narcos didn't know was we were 4 steps ahead of them. It's like, dude, I'm watching the fucking show. It's like you're watching a show and someone's next to you and like, dude, in the fucking thing.
I like that.
Not, you know why? Because you're an idiot. That's why. Dude, you just watch the fucking show, bro.
I don't know, man. Like, I've got a feeling watching these clips. I know that it's a bit and they're kind of rolling into it, but there's a little bit too much enthusiasm and giddiness and real love, like real life depth of like him laughing from his soul that's coming out here. They're legitimately laughing. Like this is something that they've maybe discussed in the tea room, coffee room, on the way there, water cooler chat. They've got their own separate WhatsApp, something. Like they're legitimately laughing at him. It's not even with him anymore. There's like a contempt maybe is probably too much of a serious word to use for this, but they don't take him seriously. Do you know what I mean? That's for sure. They don't take this guy seriously. So this might end with somebody else leaving the show. This might end up being just the King. So, or not the King. Just the Sting, sorry. The Sting. The Sting and the others. I don't know, or something. Because I've got a feeling someone might leave here soon.
Bro.
That's when you know the guy isn't really funny or a comedian. That little instance there where he's trying to scan his brain to find out something to say them funny as a reply. And again, it's not how to say be much, just something to kind of throw it out there, right? And be like, I don't know, you could easily say something like, oh, you know one show that I'm definitely watching? You. I bet you know all about that. You know, something like that. I don't know. Something along those kind of lines in. Tell me what show you're watching. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like 16 and pregnant? Do something. Save yourself.
Bro, you didn't like Stranger Things?
It's all style, baby. It's all style.
Oh man.
Look, it gets proper pissed off. That's the face of somebody that doesn't like That's the thing. You could tell he's not a comedian though, because if you are like a, he didn't make it in NFL. Yes, I know he was not that good at UFC. Yes, we know, but he still got to that level. He still was professional. In the UFC, he still was to a decent level. I guess in football, I don't think you're professional because you have to be in a proper team. I guess, right? If you're trying out for those teams, do you count yourself as semi-pro? I don't know, whatever. He played to a good level. Even though he didn't make it, he played to a good level. And clearly he's blessed genetically in terms of his height and his frame and whatnot, all good. But do you think someone like this, growing up in college, or looks like that, was laughed at in the changing room? People would tease him a lot. I don't think so. So this is not a natural feeling. For the most of his life, he's always been the what you call it, the apex predator, right? Or the alpha in the group, right? Or one of the alphas, just based on his size, not on his intellect or what he has to say or his achievements, just on just what he looks like. So imagine going from that and then suddenly putting yourself in a room full of like legit silly, what's it called, silly gooses, right? Who just here to laugh, fuck around, poke each other, sometimes, metaphorically and and literally, and now you're having to get into kind of jokey times. It's not going to be easy.
Look at this fucking this is my boy Austin. Yeah. He's a great musician.
Wow.
Look how he changed the subject quickly.
This is Popeye.
That's hilarious. That subject change to kind of get out of it was fucking brilliant as well from him. Not gonna lie, he does that pretty well. To be fair, whenever he doesn't like something, he wants to shift it away from something he doesn't want to talk about. Subject change, skirt. Well, that's fucking hilarious. I fucking enjoyed that one. That was really, really good. Another one. Is this another one showing more content? Yeah, I think this is another one. Oh shit! These clips are fucking brilliant. I'm not going to lie. These are really good.
I don't play like that. We got to get a scoreboard for when Brendan says a funny joke. Bum, 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 bum.
That was pretty mean. I'm not gonna lie, and you could tell it hurt because he was like, blinking extra hard.
I don't play like that. We got to get a scoreboard for when Brendan says a funny joke. Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't like that in the slightest. Let's not even try and flipping let's not try and flipping hide that one. He did not like that in the slightest. That was not very entertaining for the guy. Be sure. But then we got another one here.
Grass and some.
Yeah, there's another one. Let's got this one here. Come on. Oh, fucking hell. It's always long with this here. They go full screen.
Side, man. I grew up, I had no internet. Okay?
Yeah.
I didn't
How
have
crazy is that?
Yeah, this is bananas. I used to have to go play hide and seek. I used to play football with grass and cement. I used to have to, we played baseball with tennis balls in our neighborhood.
Well, look at this dumb motherfucker, bro. You go. I had to play hide and seek. He goes, great game. Dumb motherfucker.
Is it not a great game?
Yeah,
especially when everybody's into it.
Guy.
When everybody's into it, that shit is lit, dude.
It is
I will
lit,
play fucking hide and seek right now with every grown man in this fucking office.
God damn.
You know what? I'm
Where
the
you
boss.
gonna hide?
We're gonna do that. We're doing.
Look at that. That's a real privilege. That's so privilege. That's a real person. Look at that. What is that? And he's now what? Brendan's assistant. Social media manager. That's a crazy pivot, man. Like to go from wanting to act and, be a part of the scene and whatnot and do your thing, whatever it may be, I don't know, direct, whatever else, and then to just be a social media manager. It's just fucking, for a guy 10 years your junior, looking the way he does, it's hilarious. I don't know. It's just, I find that hilarious. But it also shows the fucking brutality of Hollywood. Like, legitimately, like, that place is real. Hollywood's real. Like, when you don't make it, you don't make it. And it's like, you know what I mean? There's no middle ground. It's just either you're there or you're not.
Go see Friday.
Your big fat ass is gonna stick out of wherever.
Nah, see, you want to get a hide and go seek? Dude, I'd hide it in the fucking wire, man.
Oh man.
Oh,
I fucking
guy.
turn that shit on.
Yeah, but yeah, that was hilarious again. Another instance of the weird open content thing that's going over there on the King of the Sting, where clearly people are fed up of indulging the one and the only what's his name? B. Shorb. Then we've got this interesting clip, which is hilarious, which I think, if anything, this clip now is basically proof, if ever you needed it, that most likely Brendan did steal that fajita joke from Nick Swardson. Do you remember that thing I spoke about before where there was this fajita joke that Brendan stole off Nick, which was, you know, pretty well known to be associated with Nick Swardson, because I remember it being one of the ones that I watched randomly. It was one of those clips that was uploaded, I think, from the Laugh Factory, where Nick looks really, really young. He dresses completely differently, but the fajita joke was fucking funny, innit? And then I guess for some reason, Brendan must have heard or saw that joke and just assumed no one knew who Nick was, and just took it and just kind of changed some things here and there, but just took it. And you know, then I guess for some reason, oh, that's why, because Nick recently called him FIFA Sutherland, right, in terms of his name, and fucking around another podcast, and then he kind of heard it and tried to do this whole new thing that he's gone always leading into a joke, and you know, here we are. And now there's evidence that he probably did because he copied Andrew Schultz.
Somebody who's...
It's so ridiculous. Yeah, Biden's merch sucks, though. He needs help with his merch game.
Yeah.
Trump's merch is lit. I don't like it, but I'm just saying, that thing went viral. The hats.
Biden stickers. I see Biden.
No, I know. I'm just saying that as far as Biden merch goes.
No, bumper
his
stickers.
Merch sucks.
Bumper stickers.
Biden's merch sucks.
The only place you'll see a bumper sticker for Biden.
Biden ain't got no merch. Like, that's how I judge presidents now, bro. Can you move merch or can you not? Because Trump had merch, bro. That MAGA hat was iconic. Bro, that was white people's teardrop tattoo. That's what that was. You saw a white dude with that hat, you were like, yeah! He don't give a fuck! In public, dog!
And that was you're crazy, dude. Like if you were
true.
Like
That's very true.
Like if you wear a red MAGA hat, you're like, holy shit, that guy is
punk rock,
edgy.
He's edgy.
Like you walk in a Starbucks, see a MAGA hat, you're like, holy shit, dude.
Oh man, when you
it might as well be
correct
two
me if I'm
fingers
wrong.
like
Correct
this.
me
Like,
if I'm
oh
wrong.
my God, you're gangster.
But correct
and
me if I'm wrong. When you're in places like Tacoma.
You know what's funny about that MAGA joke? I haven't watched Andrew Schultz's comedy special, but I would assume it's not the main part of that bit. It's kind of like a kind of like an add-on bit, whatever that is term for it is. So it's not even that interesting of observation. If you were just partaking in culture and you were, you know, the tiny bit smart or plugged in on what you're doing and really kind of writing all the time and observing stuff and taking note and just paying attention, you'll be able to kind of surmise that yourself, innit? Like the whole, because everyone was kind of talking about the same sort of thing, right? About how, I remember even there was a joke around that I saw sometimes on Twitter about, you know, the clarity of message. Even back then when maybe Biden wasn't as compromised as he is now, in terms of, even though you don't know what Trump is talking about, you know he's talking about a certain thing. You don't know where Biden's even starting from, that kind of thing. So there was always something in that kind of idea about, okay, maybe he's an idiot, but his marketing is really good. So you could pull from it quite easily. So the fact that he needed to wait for Schultz to present it in such a perfectly bowed, you know, knotted up, kind of bowed up present is probably says a lot about him in terms of his comedic brain. How that wasn't something that was already rattling in his head. Like, it's a bit strange, really, to be honest. Because, you know, like I said, it's not really the greatest joke in the world to be stealing in the first place. And like I said, I think most likely from that special, it's probably a joke that adds to a bigger joke. It's not even the main one, but he's like, yeah, what about the merch? What about the merch? Buy the merch sucks. Buy the merch sucks. It's like, brother, relax. We know it sucks. We know. Take it easy. Deep breaths, please, sir. Deep breaths. But hey, what do I know in it? I don't do comedy. I'm a nobody. See, that rhymed. Let's continue here. We've got some other things I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, this is one. And talk about another bit of stealing. This stealing is absolutely crazy. And like I said before, this is just, for the most part, this is the proof that anybody needed, that most likely this guy is out here fucking stealing people's bits, which is pretty egregious, all things considered, because most likely he would never get called out on it because, again, he's Joe Rogan's boy. But it is quite egregious because the bits aren't even that amazing. It goes to show how, because you'd imagine stealing a bit would be, if I was a comedian, you'd probably steal a bit that you probably can't do, right? That's how you do it, right? You do something that you probably cannot do, or that you could never get your head around to writing, but then matches what you're doing, so it's not super far out there in terms of people realizing that it's probably stolen. That's probably what you'd end up doing. But what you wouldn't, but then also it's kind of a recognition that you probably couldn't write it. So it's kind of like you're kind of like weirdly exposing yourself, like your level of writing skills. So maybe in this way, him taking these really basic bitch kind of jokes and stealing them and trying to make them his own shows that, sorry, shows that maybe he's not like, not the greatest comedic mind in the world. Maybe that's that's just me being kind in that regard. But let's see anyway. This is Brendan Schaub allegedly stealing, or not allegedly, we're gonna see it now, stealing the fucking Chris D'Elia's bit about Mark Zuckerberg, which is pretty hilarious considering his rant he went on the other day about it. This is all. So this is Chris doing it originally. Oh, whoops, no sound. Whoops, sorry about that.
Down on it? What are we doing
pretty
here?
crazy.
Look at him.
This new
That's what a bad guy. He's the new villain, Spider-Man 4. There you go.
It is really weird how much of a he really does look like a villain.
Yeah.
In a movie.
Talks like it too.
It always look, just
this meta thing is
it's so funny. Ever since Elon Musk came out, all the guys want to be Elon Musk. They're like, oh, we need personalities.
He's worth $1
and
trillion?
Shit. Elon, yeah, but him.
You notice something. So it's just button there. You notice something. He's clearly trying to set up a little bit. He's clearly working through it in his head. He's clearly trying to put the pieces together. It's meant, I know it's a UFC live stream thing, but they still want to fuck around and have some jokes. And Brendan just can't stop with the interruptions. Like, bah, 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 bah. Maybe because he's drunk a little bit, so it might give him an excuse. But Jesus Christ, let the guy breathe and let him work through his material that he's clearly trying to put together or showcase here to see if it kind of lands. Chill.
Jeff Bezos, like they were not in front of the camera until
No, they
Elon
want to be
Musk
famous.
came out. Well,
they want celebrity now.
Right. Well, because Elon Musk is like the Bruce Wayne of them, and now there's these guys that and what's his name? Mark Zuckerberg is just like I surf or whatever the fuck, and you're just like okay. I surf.
That's a good.
Yeah.
That's spot on.
I
dude.
eat meats. I eat meats and I surf.
Is
I
he a
have a
hologram?
cooker. I have a cooker. I eat meats and I surf.
Hey,
He
I like how
he
you
might
changed.
be a hologram.
Hey, B, I like how you changed the name to Meta.
Yeah.
Because they're getting all this backlash. So they think by changing the name, people are just like, okay.
Well, the new tech.
Yeah, great point, buddy. Look how inflamed his face is. That's the booze, right? God almighty, brother. It's like he's wearing a mask underneath his face. And another one on top of it. Like, when people with the height of COVID were wearing like 2 face masks. If you're in my chat and you're wearing 2 face masks, you got to give yourself a slap. If you at the peak of the pandemic, if you're going around with fucking 2 surge, with like, I think people were doing, they were putting like a what's that? KN5095, whatever it was, one that made the actual one that worked properly with the vents in it, and then putting the fucking surgical flipping blue one on top of it. Man, COVID had us on our knees, didn't it? Fucking hell. And the fucking whiskey and stuff had him on his knees as well. Jesus.
Technology they have is very strange to me.
With VR and shit.
No, but how about the fact that you can't be a company that's like taking over the world and it still be named Facebook? That's some bitch ass company name. Meta is at least it's a good name.
Do you know what Meta?
You're one of them.
Chris.
No, I think Meta is a good name.
Chris, this isn't even Chris. Oh fuck, he's got a short.
Meta. Have you seen the logo? It's an infinity sign. Meta. Facebook is no more.
What do you have to say about Facebook being bad for young people's mental?
Yeah, what's it called? Ray Chan joint. You're right. I definitely think he has an allergic reaction too, because I know I used to have a little bit as well before with beer. Some certain beers, the combination, whatever wheat they use, it would fucking fuck up my stomach and I'd get really bad indigestion, like super, super bad. So yeah, I definitely think he has some reaction to it, but he just steamrolls through it, or as he says, he just goes. So he doesn't, he's not gonna address it or pay attention to it in any kind of way. It's not happening. No way. Let's just keep drinking. Of course, he's got like fucking a whole fucking crate full of fucking Tiger whiskey to run through, so he can't get sober anytime soon.
Health.
Yacht, just makes me laugh.
Why?
The data. I know the data. Fake news. Fake news. Fake news.
Man, you keep saying so.
Yes.
Auto adjust microphone.
Oh, wow.
It's getting really good.
Learning.
This is so dangerous.
Access thumb.
Meta-Chris, where is Chris, the real Chris D'Elia?
In the metaverse.
Well, what did you do to him? Is he no longer?
Yacht.
Funny.
It's so stupid.
Is he dead?
That's legitimately funny. And it only got funnier because guess what? Brian Callen, who used to do a podcast with him and knows how to be comedic, was basically setting him up, asking him questions, probing, prodding, trying to steer in a direction where it was trying to be funny. Where Brendan was talking about, oh, did you see? It's like, come on, brother, man. Relax, bro. Just lean into the joke as well. But anyway, this is Brendan's attempt at the same joke, which is at the same premise of a joke, which is pretty hilarious, I think, personally. Let's put this on screen. This is pretty hilarious how he did it, because it's not as good at all, but he's definitely something he's kind of pigging off the back of Chris from.
He's gonna pull his face off. There's a robot there. Look at him. He's all, oh my god, this is fantastic. Dana White. Is it okay if I call you DW? Like, what? It's just all so. Look at his eyes.
I know they look like they're just.
It's funny you mentioned look at his eyes. Look at your eyes, brother. We can hardly see them sometimes in the morning, bro, from all the inflammation. Like, come on.
Dead?
Yeah, dude. He's a robot.
Okay, cool. He's a robot. Then you know that where that kind of came from, especially the imitation of a robot, even though his one sounded a little bit foreign, right? Everyone else's robot just sounds like a very polished American dude. This one sounded very, very, very foreign. But you know, who am I to say this sort of stuff? But it's funny if he's using the Shop Show as an opportunity to kind of do bits now. Maybe that's what, and again, maybe this is another influence of fucking BGL. He's like using it to kind of shoot back at the haters and do bits. Maybe might end up being good for him because he's actually getting to perform in a way on a show in front of an audience, kinda. BGL's gonna laugh at anything he does, so it's not really a good representation. But just it might be a good thing in general. Overall, it might be. Let's see this.
I'll tell you who didn't. His wife. She was terrified. She's like, they're actually hitting each other. And then Mark Zuckerberg like, yes, babe, they're hitting each other. Some of them will die. She's like, they're going to die. He's like, hopefully, if it's up to me, they will die. And Dan's like,
yeah, I don't know. This youth, man, is just not funny. That was just fucking, I don't know what to say about that, to be fair. It's just fucking brutal to watch this stuff sometimes. I watch it back, I'm like, God, I can't believe I've loaded these clips up. But hey, you know what it is. You know what it is. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that might be it. I don't know if I've got anything else I wanted to show you guys on here. We saw the Zuckerberg bits stolen. What else have we seen? We've seen most of the stuff, haven't we? I think so. I can't think of anything else I wanted to see. I think I showed you the JLo thing argument already last stream, I'm pretty sure. And I think that's it, innit? From what I can see. Oh yeah, let's see this two things. So number one thing is this. So for some reason, Brendan and Brian decide to, or Brendan starts to kind of grill Brian and ask him why he didn't send him any assets or any material for his new special that he's got going out at the moment. And from what it looks like, Brian didn't forget. He just didn't want to send it to Brendan because he doesn't want Thick Boy associated with anything he's doing with his comedy. Maybe his podcasting is one thing, but he wants a separation because, you know, the stand-up thing is something that's actually bringing him money that he can, you know, do stuff with and what. No, I don't know. What do you think? Yeah, my guess would be Brian Callen probably makes more money on the road than he does on the podcast because it's just his stuff, right? Because on a podcast, you have to share the money out, divvy it around, I don't know, whatever. So I think he makes a lot more money on the road than he does maybe doing the podcast. Maybe, who knows? But it's good to have the revenue streams open and do what you want. But I've got a feeling that ever since Brendan went through what he went through, that he's also, even though Brendan's stuck by fucking Brian, the fucking, you know, what you call it, lacking in backbone guy, if it's true, I still got the feeling that he's still a bit cautious about having everything in the sort of like Thick Boy basket, all his eggs in the Thick Boy basket. He's trying to be a little bit coy. So it's really embarrassing to show this. It honestly is, to see this in real time, because this is a conversation they should be having behind the scenes, but they're having in front of camera because they legitimately have nothing else to talk about. They exhaust all the topics that they have. They don't generally talk to each other anyway. They're not really as friendly as they weren't before, even though they try and lie that they are. It's a bit, you know, it's a bit mad. And also we learn in this, did you learn this that you're getting married? That's what I think I've heard. I saw on Reddit that allegedly Brian Callen's getting remarried. Whatever, innit? Let's play it.
Got a bunch of podcasts to do, and it's gonna be fun.
You line up a little tour.
Little tour. Joey Diaz, Chris Stefano.
Here's my thing though, Bubba.
Yeah.
You didn't send me and the boys like a trailer to post, a flyer to post.
I need to do that. I just don't.
Oh, but it should have been last week, right?
Right, but
I should have had this last week.
I have it.
But you just don't send anybody.
I didn't know if that was appropriate to my friends to put on your feed.
Did you post the trailer thing on your social media?
Yeah, I did all that.
See, I don't see it. If you sent to me, because I don't see anything. So
yeah.
I don't see anything. It's that DSP when he lies about not playing WWE champions.
Yeah.
If you just send it to us, you know.
Yeah.
But you could even send like, boys, it's out, you know, and then just let people. Don't force me. Don't. I've never asked anybody, hey, make sure you post this. Never.
Okay. Just.
But you just like, hey, it's that, like, you know, take a look. Let me, and then people do whatever they want with it.
All right.
But yeah, just definitely give me some of the assets.
You see how he's being non-committal and looking around and stuff. He definitely doesn't want anything to do with Thick Boy. Nothing. He wants to just keep his podcast to himself or his comedy special to himself and have that not be associated with the big redact just in case he gets cancelled, which is hilarious because Brendan definitely stood behind him in a way that Brian could never do for him.
Well, I'll give you
like
some.
the trailer should be in today's episode.
Well, I have it here.
Send it to Chin. Well, when we're done though, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or we can close the show with that.
Oh, that makes sense.
But yeah.
All right, I'll do
100%. So you get the views on this.
You're right.
That's the move, Daddy.
You're right, buddy. You're right. You're.
Jesus Christ! Some pure boomer energy from both people involved here. I don't really know what's going on there, to be honest. But hey, yeah, it's clear to see. Like I said, Brian doesn't want any, from what I can see anyway, reading into that, he doesn't want really any association with those dudes. By the sounds of it, if we are proven wrong, we're proven wrong. But I think that's the crux of it so far. And that is it really for me in terms of the Action Zinger show. Oh no, sorry, the random show. What am I saying? Action Zinger show. The random show episode number 54. Thanks again for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure to have your company. Oh wow, the thing there forever there. It's been a pleasure to have your company as per usual. Thanks again for checking out what do you call it? The show. For the first time watchers on here, make sure you like the stream, please. Help me out with the likes, that'd be much appreciated. If you like the show and like the channel, and obviously subscribe, that'd be greatly appreciated too. I'd love to see some of you back here again, and then I'll see you guys again soon, innit? But for now, take care, people. Thank you for tuning in. It's been a pleasure to have your company, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. But for now, take care, be safe, peace.